Now, if there's one thing you can be sure of, it's that nothing is more powerful than a young boy's wish. Except an Apache helicopter. An Apache helicopter has machine guns and missiles. It's an unbelievably impressive complement of weaponry, an absolute death machine. Sir Patrick Stewart. Knives, shotguns, and knuckle dusters thereupon. This is modern escapism. Good, weren't it?
What's that quote from? Like, what film is that from? Is it from Ted, is it?
Let's go. Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Oodles, and if I was a weapon, I'd be a cheese grater. Joining me today, if he was a weapon, he'd probably be the humble AK-47. Reliable, waterproof, and common. It's Stig. If she was a weapon, there's no doubt in my mind she'd be Blade's Makuri sword. Feels good in the hand, but if you don't focus, it's going to take your hand off. It's Candy Machine.
Feels good in whose hand?
It all depends. And finally, if this specimen was a weapon, he'd be a nuclear-equipped walking battle tank, capable of launching a payload from anywhere on the planet. It's Biggie.
Hello.
Welcome.
Gear? Do you not mean Metal Gear Biggie?
Metal Gear Biggie.
And there's an episode title.
Welcome.
2 minutes in, new record.
Welcome to the show. And in our new format for the visual listeners on YouTube, I believe. I don't know how the internet works, but it's getting done. So
we're doing video now. If you want to see us doing the podcast, you can watch it on YouTube.
But please
Gadget made us do something. He just into it.
Yeah,
I'm feeling very 36 right now. I just see my fucking old face staring back at me.
Yeah, me too. Let's just get on with some capitalism. Go on, Stig.
Yeah, if you like what we do, we have a Patreon. If you head over to patreon.com/modernescapism, on there you will find the 3 tiers that we do. First up, for £5 a month, it's Modern Escapees. For that, you'll get an extended edition of this episode every month, as well as at least one monthly special and any other specials that we do. If you are into Dungeons & Dragons, we do a D&D actual play podcast called Do Dragons Dream of Scorched Sheep? And for £5 a month, you will get ad-free early access of those episodes, as well as original artwork created by Candy, any original music and battle maps we create, and you'll also be able to suggest items and NPCs for Gadget to use in the campaign. And £7.50, it's the Biggie bundle, and that gets you everything. And don't forget, it's plus VAT on those prices. I must specify that.
That's
Yes, we
Patreon's
need to
fault,
keep it
though,
above
not
board
ours.
these days.
Yes. Don't want to mislead you, lovely listeners.
Yes, we do. I'm joking, we don't.
If you buy the Biggie bundle, you get an actual size keyring of me.
An actual sized one.
Well, it's 6 foot.
6'2".
Trying to get into your car with that.
This is not handy anymore. But let's just crack on with the show. This is what we call the Nexus, and I think we're going to start with Biggie this week. What have you been up to this week, sir?
Well, unfortunately, I was tested positive this week, so yes, it's absolutely true. I am completely sexual. But on top of that,
Now official. It's official, folks.
I want to know what kind of doctor's practice tests that.
Yes,
It appears, sir, you are sexual.
I have a license to drill. But no, it's
Fucking hell.
yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't been well this week, so I've been off isolating. But in the meantime of slipping in and out of consciousness, I have watched a few things. So I've finally got round to watching Moon.
It's so good,
Yes,
isn't it?
excellent
I've
film.
never seen this, and what a great movie that is.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Sam Rockwell in that is just...
Sam Rockwell in most things.
Yes, this is very true. What a great performance in that. when that must have come out, I don't know where I was. I just somehow missed it. You know, people didn't really talk about it. I know a lot of you guys have mentioned it once in a while on here. Yeah, just brilliant. Can't believe I just never saw that. And along with that, I finally watched Death of Stalin.
Finally.
Thanks to the recommendation last week. That was awesome. Really, really good.
Yes.
Very, very
It's not exactly what you expect, is it?
No, and it is so well done as well. And I'm glad they didn't try and put any Russian voices on. I think it works perfectly fine the way they did it. It's brilliant.
Just Jason fucking Isaacs. That first moment when you get that glorious intro when he walks in and he swishes his cape off and pulls his tunic down, and then he just launches into something as if he's from Leeds. It's so fucking funny.
It's so good.
Yeah, and they're all brilliant in that. Really fantastic. Also watched Don't Look Up.
What do you think?
Enjoyed that. Yeah, really, really good.
Good.
Kind of what everybody said. I like what they tried to do. It's serious, but with a bit of fun as well. And it touches on some very good points and a very poignant end to it as well. Really liked it. Really thought it was good. Finished Mass Effect 1.
Oh, cool. What do you think to end it without spoiling it?
I've done it before, but I
have
didn't
you?
really remember it, to be honest. It's been a while. 84 years. But yeah, just really, really enjoyed playing that again.
I think it's the best one story-wise. It's just such a bad play.
Yeah.
I would say mechanically it's terrible.
The combat is weird, like I mentioned last week. It's just, don't feel threatened at all.
It's got exceptional world building. It's got the developments of Seren and the Reapers and stuff. It's just really good lore-wise and stuff. It's just so bad to play.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to obviously picking up, going on to ME2 at some point. I want to play something.
It ramps up big style on that one.
It does. But because I've been playing Mass Effect, the one thing I really wanted to talk about was that I went back to try and catch up where I got to with the Expanse, and I'm on Series 4. I'm that finished now, so I'm on to Series 5. And
very spoiler light because I'm going to be watching this very soon.
I'm not going to talk about the.
Are you not caught up, mate?
At all.
Oh dear.
But
I'm watching it at all.
Oh really? Oh
yeah.
No!
Wow! I still haven't watched the final series for some reason. I was waiting for it all to come out, and then I was going to binge
a lot better than the series prior.
Yeah, and then I just haven't found the time to get it on with all the other stuff I've been watching and playing. So
yeah,
it's really.
I was exactly the same, and I loved it when it came out. I binged it for series 1 through to 3, and then just dropped off it for some reason. But because I've been playing Mass Effect, it links in really well with that game. It feels like it's Mass Effect the series, just with fewer aliens. And it's just really, really well done series. I think the money they've invested on it shows on the screen. The cast are pretty good. Just really enjoy it.
Some fascinating science behind it as well, isn't there? Like in universe science, like the ships, rather than stops, because you can't brake in space, they have to turn around and fire the thrusters to stop. It's so cool.
Really, really good. And the blurb from Wikipedia basically has it down as a science fiction TV series based on some novels by James S.A. Corey. The series is set in the future where humanity has colonised the solar system. It follows the desperate band of protagonists as they unwittingly unravel and place themselves at the centre of a conspiracy that threatens the system's fragile state of Cold War, whilst dealing with existential crises brought forth by the newly discovered alien technology. I mean, that's pretty much bang on.
That's what you want in a show, isn't it?
Yeah, and it covers so many things: relationships, politics, science, obviously the fear of aliens,
religion.
Everything, religion. It's just brilliant, really well acted. And I didn't quite... It's really funny, actually. When I first tried to watch it, I couldn't get with the lead character.
Holden
just came across like as if I was playing Shepard in Mass Effect, just like this blank
He's Barry Default, isn't he?
Totally.
Amos.
Amos, baby.
Yeah, and it just grows. He eventually grows, and I actually think he's a really good choice for the part. I didn't like him at first.
He does. I agree. I think he got a lot better. Considering he was the main character, it took me a few seasons to even remember his name.
It felt like Thomas Jane was the main character at a lot of it.
Totally agree. And yeah, Amos is a great character. But
Amos
the ships,
incredible.
The Rossi, the Rossanti, they all look so good. The space, the way things, explosions or whatever happens in space, it's just brilliantly done. And like you say, it's got a bit more scientific. So yeah,
it's
just
super
really
hard sci-fi, isn't it? As well.
Yeah. It's not. You have to concentrate when you're watching that. It's not.
There's nothing fantasy about it.
No. Yeah, I had problems like thinking, oh, I'll just watch another episode, and it was late at night, and you too late, and you're drifting off, and I was like, can't watch this because you just if you don't concentrate, you miss things. It's not one you can sit there and play on your phone or do other things. You kind of just sit there. It's not
daft like on Star Trek and stuff. You're waiting for those little set piece moments. It's not got that. It's
like you could kind of do other things while you're watching Star Trek, couldn't you?
Yeah,
but I don't think you could with The Expanse.
No, not a chance.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're a sci-fi fan, and Gadget, I'm really surprised you've not seen it yet. It's right up your street.
Well, I know, because I'll be talking something to do with it in a minute.
Okay.
I genuinely, do you know when I read your book, Gadget, I thought, I think he's watched The Expanse, this guy. But
I haven't seen it.
I know you haven't. I think it's just one of those ingrained sci-fi things where, because yours is quite grounded, your sci-fi tale. And I think it's sort of, to a degree. And I think you'll garner a lot from this. I think you're going to be one of those people that's going to be in Discord going, guys, have you seen The Expanse? We're all like, yes, we've all seen it. It's great.
In fact, that's a good point because it's very much like Galactica, where it feels like a lived-in world. Things look dirty, run down.
Galactica's a good pull for it.
Yeah. They were definitely influenced by how sort of more realistic that was. But yeah, that's it for me, guys.
That's action-packed week, and I'm glad to see you on the mend, sir.
Hope so.
So, Stig.
A couple of things this week. First one I did is downloaded Clone Hero for the PC.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this.
So, for whatever reason, I was just thinking about Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and thinking and annoyed at myself that I kind of sold it all a few years ago, because I thought, oh, actually now that would have been good for us to play with the kids. They might have enjoyed that, and I had loads of tracks on Rock Band. Anyway, somebody on another Discord pointed me towards Clone Hero. So Clone Hero was developed in 2017 by Ryan Foster and Matthew Sinton, and it is basically Guitar Hero.
Yeah,
it is nearly identical in the gameplay, but it just kind of strips a lot of the crap away from Guitar Hero. So menus aren't fancy. You don't have all the backdrops, like you say. You don't have all like the crowd and the bands and silly animations and that going on. But it's really good. It's ridiculously fast. So in and out of the menus with no issues. The levels load really quickly. There's a whole community online that have just uploaded loads of different tracks, similar to how Gadget was talking about with Beat Saber several months ago when he played that people have made their own tracks and everything and uploaded them, and I have downloaded a few, and I've got about 500 songs, and there must be thousands upon thousands
loads
of
tracks
Nickelback
out there.
On there. Yeah, actually, there's one Nickelback because it's part of the original Guitar Hero pack, so that is in there. But yeah, I had a look around, and you obviously need a guitar for this. And I was having a look around of what guitar could I get, because if I get a wireless one and then have to buy a certain adapter to get it to work, I just had in my head that it's just going to be a massive faff on. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to get really annoyed that I've bought this guitar. And so I thought, I'll look for a wired one, USB, plug it straight in.
Yeah,
makes sense. Those go for like 60 to 70 quid.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not paying that much for this. The game is free, by the way. Clone Hero is absolutely free. That you don't have to pay anything. You just download the zip file, unzip it, double click the icon, and you're in the game. Set up your buttons and everything. So obviously I'm not paying any money towards the game. That doesn't matter, but I don't want to be paying 60 or 70 quid for these guitars. Looked on Facebook Marketplace. There's someone selling one locally, a PS2 era one. 20 quid.
Meant.
Yep.
Snap it up.
Yep. So I messaged him, have you got this guitar still? Yep. He said, right, I'll come collect it tomorrow. Went on to Amazon, bought the PS2 to USB adapter, and within less than 24 hours, rocking away on Clone Hero.
Which one is it? Is it the black and white Fender guitar or the Gibson one?
It's the red and black Gibson one.
Gibson SG.
SG. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool one. It's a cool one.
And actually, I was looking at a few videos on which ones is the best ones to get, and that one is recommended just because it's wired and there's no issues with having to mess around with adapters. You get the PS2 to USB adapter, plug it in, and it just treats it like a USB cable.
Does the whammy work?
No, the whammy doesn't work, unfortunately. But everything else does work on it, so...
Mine broke on my original one anyway. I whamming it too hard.
Yeah.
Easy mistake to make.
I made sure, when I went to pick it up, I got it out of the box and just pressed all the buttons first. I thought, I don't want to get home and find they're like sticky
green.
Yeah. Yeah,
I've had breathless when I wham too hard.
Whoa. You've got to watch your breath, so you're recovering.
Tonight? Exactly.
Very horny Biggie.
Down, Biggie, down.
Yeah, so I've just been playing that for yesterday and today, just messing about on that and having a really good time playing that.
I played Guitar Hero because I've still got mine. I played it last year and it still holds up. It's an incredible little game, and I don't know why it didn't continue to just iterate on it.
It died because there was like massive oversaturation of it, because it was Activision did the every year new version of it, new guitars. Now people got sick of having plastic guitars around the house. Then they started doing the DLC packs, which were just far too expensive for what they were, and the
Beatles one were good. The Beatles Rock Band, that was real.
That was really psychedelic, wasn't it?
Yeah, that were
those
videos in general.
The Aerosmith one was not good.
The Aerosmith one isn't good because there's 4 good Aerosmith songs.
How's it work from a music license perspective? Because they must have lost some of those licenses.
Yeah, but they weren't down. A lot of them, apart from the 360 era, they weren't like downloadable titles, were they? Anyway, so they're just whatever's on the disc.
If you download Guitar Hero 1 and 2 tracks, because you can actually just download the full set list from that game. Someone's obviously ripped them from that game, and put them on and mapped it all. You end up, you do get some of the ones that are covers.
Yeah.
So the music sounds the same, but you can tell that the singer isn't the...
Yeah.
Obviously, I played Freebird today.
It's not Lynyrd Skynyrd.
It's not them.
I remember the War Pigs one on Guitar Hero 2 on the PS2. That was... The guy that had doing Ozzy's voice, he could not do Ozzy's voice.
Yeah, Ozzy can't do Ozzy's voice.
It was Incubus one on and it was the same.
Yeah, the War Pigs one I remember is like a proper nasy generals gathered in their masses, like that. It was fucking terrible.
Well, Ozzy were in then.
Thought Ozzy was in the room for a second.
Shut on.
But it is like now, and obviously as Guitar Hero and Rock Band became bigger, bands obviously licensed out the music, didn't they? And we're like, yeah, fine, you can use our music.
I think it was from Guitar Hero 3, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, yeah. But I, for some reason, thought I'd play One by Metallica.
I remember that being very difficult.
Yeah, some of it's not. I was trying to thinking of the and I was like, oh, this isn't too bad, and then I forgot that it kind of goes. Yeah. I was like, oh god, my hand at the end of that. I was like, my hand.
It's fucking Kirk Hammer. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. It's been really good. So
it's funny that you brought that up because I was just noodling around on YouTube last night, and I saw you were playing Clone Hero because I was like browsing Discord at the time. As my YouTube flicked onto a video by Carl Jobst, I think it is, about a competitive Clone Hero player who was found cheating. I watched it.
Yes,
I only discovered that the Clone Hero existed yesterday from you playing it, and then this video coming on at the same time.
And he's a fraudster.
Yeah, fraudster who's speeding up his videos of these like world records he was doing.
That happened way back on the PS2 360 era with Through the Fire and the Flames.
Oh yeah, loads of people do that.
So we're doing that, and then people forgot there was that cheat that the game played it for you. So if you could kind of mimic where your fingers should be, it doesn't look like you're cheating. And there were so many like fake people because it's really difficult on expert, that song.
It's difficult on pretty hard medium.
Yeah,
fucking solid. I watched a video actually, and when I was doing this, it came across that, and it's world record attempt Through the Fire and Flames, and it was just like 12 years ago. And this young lad's got all his family in there and everything. They're all watching him play it, and he breaks the world record, and none of them react.
Because they've just sat listening to Dragon Force for 7 minutes.
Yeah, that in itself is torture.
Yeah, one of them just goes, "I've got to go now." Just walks out the room.
I'd be more concerned to be like, son, if you put this much hour into a real guitar, you could have a job. You know what I mean? You could actually have a career out of this, but instead you put it into plastic guitars. Yeah, never mind.
Fun. I've enjoyed it. So if you do have any of those plastic guitars lying around, you don't want to sell them, or you've got a bit bored with, or you don't want to set up your 360 or PS2 or whatever,
yeah,
have a look at Clone Hero. So I only want to talk about that quickly because I've got something else.
It's fine. If anyone who wants to buy a drum set from Bandero and a guitar from Bandero, just hit me up. 70 quid each.
Are you okay? My main thing I did want to talk about was I went to see on Friday night Jackass Forever.
Yes, please tell me it's exceptional.
I had such a good time with this film.
Yes,
I really want to see it in a cinema with full of people, and it was pretty packed. There was not a lot of seats left over because I wanted to be in a room of people just
laughing,
having a good time and laughing. It's been a long time since I've been to see a comedy at the cinema. Outside of the usual laughs you get from a Marvel film for the little quips and stuff.
The last comedy I saw in cinema was The Other Guys, Will Ferrell.
Ooh.
I genuinely can't think of what the last one I went to see. Genuinely can't think of it. Could be far back as that, like Hangover 2 or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think that there's not been any good comedies, really.
I said the last comedy I can remember seeing at the cinema. Deadpool 2 was the last comedy I saw at the cinema.
Well, if you count
the last one was explicitly called a comedy. Wasn't very funny. It was Burke and Hare.
No. I didn't like that film at all.
It wasn't very funny.
It's all right.
Oh.
Yeah, so Jackass, they're back after about 10 years or so, I think.
Roughly.
And was Jackass 3 out? It was out in 2010, so yeah, just 12 years. They're all extremely middle-aged now, greying, wrinkles, feeling the effects of the noughties. And it's just Jackass again. But it does something that no film franchise can ever say, and that is that the fourth installment of their franchise is the best film.
Wow, really? Is it really that good?
It's really the best one.
I love Jackass 2. I think Jackass 2 are best.
I think that the introduction of 4K cameras and the ability to slow things down and zoom right in on things obviously helps with that, because you get the full cringe and you see the pain, you see them bouncing off the ground in slow motion, in glorious 4K, and you collectively in the cinema, everyone's going, oh, like that. And I've lost count the amount of times I've just sat there and went, oh, Jesus Christ.
Just very quickly, we were on holiday in the Philippines, first time I ever went to the Philippines with my wife, a friend and their partner, and we were in a bar, and they obviously got a pirated copy of the original Jackass. And they were playing it in the bar in the background. And we were just sitting there looking up at the screen and just like, what the fuck? Just literally must have caught it just after it started. We sat there just pissing ourselves laughing, going,
it's a good job it wasn't that film that's got the poo volcano. That's got to be one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
But yeah, they're incredible, those guys.
Yeah, it's... I think they must have either got the go-ahead or just they don't give a shit anymore. But there is a lot more cock and balls in this film than there's ever been in any other Jackass.
Good.
How gross is it? Because I'm all for injuries, but I don't like the gross stuff.
There is not... I think there's one scene of throwing up. There's barely any thing. Oh, actually, there is one really, really gross thing, but I'm not going to spoil it but it is fucking incredible.
Do they get the cameraman to throw up again as well? That's one of my favourites.
Yes, but I think he does it inside his mask. because they filmed it during the pandemic, so they've got masks on.
That's fucking worse.
Yeah, they try to make him throw up just by making throw up noises, and he goes.
Yeah, that one when they did with it, where they were drinking that guy's sweat.
Yeah, that's the one.
That one was bleak.
Oh,
I was much preferred just the flat out silly ones. My favourite one they ever did, I think it was in the first Jackass film, was the high five. Just a giant hand on a spring where they walk in the room, just let it go and smack him in the face. So
Wee
funny.
Man walks under it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
The air horns at the golf club.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But this one, obviously, it has the some of the original Jackass, most of them minus Pete Dunne and Bam Margera, and it has a lot of new people as well, but they just fit right in. You don't look at them and think, oh, God, these new guys trying to copy them. They just get involved and have fun, and they just kind of take the licks, really, and it's so good. Like, I'll start with the opening, really, kind of gets you into the groove of it. It's a model city, and there's a Godzilla attack on it, and it cuts between a penis dressed up as Godzilla, all painted green, bouncing around, and then cuts back down to the streets where the rest of the Jackass team kind of doing stunts, and as the city is running away scared. So that's kind of where the setup goes from there. That's the big extravagant opener, and then it kind of cuts into all your standard gross out stuff and injuries. And there's one moment where they are in a room. They take two of them into a room, and they show them this rattlesnake. Put the rattlesnake back in the bucket. They bring them back in the room later. They take the rattlesnake away. Then they lock the door and turn the lights off, and then just start fucking with them in this room. So Johnny Knoxville's there with the night vision goggles on and just fucking with them. And they do it to about 3 or 4 different pairs of people. And each time they're just scared shitless. And they're just throwing like fake snakes at them, making like rattlesnake noises and prodding them with cattle prods and stuff.
That would fuck me up big time.
That's so cruel.
But it gets even better. I don't want to spoil what actually happens towards the end of it, because there's a nice surprise in there as well. Which I was absolutely howling with that. To put it this way, I laughed so much watching this film, I had to take painkillers because of my chest when I went to bed that night. It hurt my chest so much. I got out of the cinema, I was like, my chest hurts. My mate, and I was like, I don't know why it's not done that in ages. He went, do you think it's from all the laughing? I went, sure, what, it might be, because laughing and sneezing and coughing still kind of hurts my chest a little with that injury. And I had to take painkillers when I got home because it would hurt. I'd laughed so much. So if you love Jackass, if you've always loved Jackass, I think you'll still enjoy this. I don't think that the 10 years that we've kind of grown up since, you'll go, oh, I'm too old for that. I don't care about that anymore. If you liked it before, you're going to like it again still.
They did when they went off on a bit of a tangent. Wasn't as good anyway. I think that
Wild Boys.
That pretty much was it. That's all you needed, was just them doing that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I liked Bad Grandpa. Was it Bad Grandpa?
I didn't like that at all.
Didn't you?
No,
I thought that one was funny.
I never saw it.
That fucking show as well. I hated that Viva Bam.
Viva La Bam. He's just so fake.
I don't like Bam Margera in general. Never did.
No, he was usually the weakest.
Seems like
parts.
the Desperate Housewives. It was
just him torturing his parents, really.
Yeah.
I quite like the pranks on his dad. Were quite funny, but
it seemed fake in that show.
It probably was.
But in Viva La Bam, they were absolutely fake.
Yeah. They're not on Jackass when he's going in playing guitar on his face and he's asleep. That's pretty good.
I will say, actually, though, Steve-O looks great.
He's not on drugs anymore.
Considering everything he's been through, he looks great.
I saw a clip from his podcast, because he's got it's like Wild Things podcast or something like that, or Wild One or something. No, Wild Ride. That's it. Steve-O's Wild Ride, and he's been putting clips of the interviews that he does on YouTube, and he's basically just touring around a big tour bus, interviewing random celebrities. The one I was watching, he was talking to Frankie Muniz from Malcolm in the Middle.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, he's still alive. And more surprisingly, so is Steve-O. But
that is the big surprise.
I remember thinking when I was watching that, going, it's nice that Steve-O looks healthy. He's put on a bit of weight.
He's got all his teeth.
No, it's all false teeth, but he's got a full set of them.
Yeah, I know, but he's still got them.
He looks really healthy. His voice is absolutely fucked. Like he sounds like he's talking through a cheese grater. But he
sounded like that for the last 20 years, though, I think.
Yeah, but it's just really nice to see him like upbeat and positive and not on every drug under the sun.
Yeah, but really great to watch it. I think just watching them as old men do it just kind of had some charm about it.
Do you think in 10 years' time we'll get another one?
No.
And the money's run out.
Is he possibly one of the only people in the world that's got a tattoo of themselves on their body?
I doubt it.
No, but he's definitely one that's only got a full back piece, probably.
Yeah.
I've seen people with themselves on their tattoo. And another one of my personal, and Candy will see that a lot, when they get their own name tattooed on themselves. It's like, what, in case you forget?
I get asked for that quite often as well. And then there was another one from Jackass as well, because of Steve-O. Like, people wanted
your name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got asked for that a few times back in the day.
It's not
Maybe
funny,
me
is
and
it?
Gadget should do that so that Oodles can tell which fucking one we are.
You'd have to have
But do the wrong one deliberately.
B on your forehead and G on your forehead. But yeah, excellent. Let's move on. I'll take the reins for a second. I've done a few things this week. I finally watched 2 films that I needed to watch from last year. The first one, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Do you know what? I fucking cried watching this.
Yeah.
Me too.
What a lovely, lovely film. I was so like, I'm going to hate this. Straight away, kids are full of charisma. They're great actors. The mum's great. Paul Rudd's great, and he's not overshadowing anything. He's just there. Do you know what I mean? I thought, it's going to be a Paul Rudd vehicle, this. No. And then, I'm not going to spoil what happens in the story, but there's some emotional beats in that just, wow. It's fan service done spot on, in my opinion. Like, it's the sequel to the first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is weird. Totally weird.
I always liked Ghostbusters 2, to be honest. It wasn't as good as the first one, but they could have just pretended that that happened. It's fine. That is canon. It's weird that they kind of just...
They don't talk about it at all, do they?
No. It's like that never happened at all, which is weird.
Yeah. But I think it's Ivan Reitman's son that did it, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, Jason, yeah.
And he understood his father's legacy. He really did. And you can see that film was for his dad. Like, I've done this for you, and I'd like to see him do more. I think he could now. We don't need the original Ghostbusters anymore. We've got a new cast of Ghostbusters, haven't we? And not so keen on the little kid that's called Podcast, but by the end...
Personally offended there.
By the end, you grow into him a little bit, you know what I mean? You learn to love him.
I thought he was a good character. I just didn't see the point in what they did. Oh, he's called Podcast. Why? Because he does a podcast.
But he's only got one subscriber. I'm not going to spoil who the subscriber is, but he's got one subscriber.
It was just lazy, like us. Really.
Yeah, it's good. I thought it's an absolute proper solid, like, 8 out of 10 film. It's just really nice. I felt really good. It would have been nice to see it in cinema because it looks quite spectacular on my 4K monitor, but that would have been nice. But the next film I should have seen in cinema, but I didn't. I finally watched Dune.
Yes!
Hey.
Wow.
I mean, Dune.
So I rented it for $4.99 on Amazon Prime.
How many times have you watched it now?
4 times.
As is tradition.
And I've watched
it then?
I've watched the original. I've watched the original once this week as well, just to contrast and compare.
You see what he puts himself through for you listeners.
Yes.
I'm doing this for you guys.
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve's Dune is the best book to film adaptation ever put on screen by a massive margin. It's better than Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. It's, I mean, obviously it's one film, so we can't compare it to a full trilogy that are fantastic as a set piece. But this, and I've read Dune a few times. This is absolutely spot on.
Yep.
I can't really. There's been some artistic license, like let's make the Harkonnens bald instead of red-haired. Why not? I like what he did. Why not? Do you know what I mean? It doesn't hurt. It's just an artistic vision, isn't it? It's so coherent. He does the backstory justice. It does the lore and the world building justice because he's got the time to do it. Like, as we all know, we've discussed on this podcast, it's just half of the first book. A little bit more than half, isn't it? Just
it basically covers the first half of the story, though, because the bit that is yet to be done, the bit that is part 2, there is a time jump and there is a lot of shit that is condensed into the rest of the novel. But like that last half of the book takes place over about a year, I think. It's quite a long time, that last bit.
Yes. There's a lot of things happening in the second half when it comes, which has been greenlit, thankfully. I just think it's just exceptional. It's beautiful. It's stunning. The music's intense. The sandworms, even though they don't look like they're described in the book, they look better than what's described in the book. They're more prehistoric. They're more godlike.
Yeah.
in a sense, and the gargantuan. Do you know what I mean? The desert doesn't look like Hollywood desert. It looks like they went to a real desert.
Well, they did.
And yeah, it's absolutely stunning. I love the fashion. I love Isaac's beard.
It's an epic beard.
That's an exceptional. That is. Has he grown that himself?
Yeah,
is that
that's his
beard
beard.
wig?
You must have liked his beard, Candy.
Oh, I did like the beard. That's one thing I can say for it.
They did.
Took Momoa's beard away though. That wasn't so good.
Oh, I didn't like that.
Yeah,
No.
added one, took another away.
When he turned up without a beard, I was like, no, I don't like that.
Well, he initially turned up with a beard, didn't he? And then he shaved it off. But yeah, I just think it's exceptional. Like it spends time with the Bene Gesserit. I forgot how you say all these things, even though I've read the books and the Gom Jabbar and stuff. It goes into it and it talks about the jihad, but it's all like these characters know that these things exist, so it doesn't beat you over the head.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? The original film, it's just hitting you over the head with these terms, and you're like, "What's happening? This is." I haven't got time.
To be fair, the book hits you over the head with the terms, and then also has appendices at the end.
Yes, of course it does. And the book, especially the first one, fails to explain the 30,000 years before this.
Yeah,
it just does, and then you have to read the encyclopedia for that. But yeah, I think it's flawless, and I'm so looking forward to the part 2. And I hope he does Messiah as well.
He has said he wants to.
Because after Messiah, I think the whole saga just falls off a cliff a little bit.
He said he wants to do the entire trilogy.
I still haven't gotten to the third book. I found Messiah pretty hard work. That it was just.
Yeah, I think it is as well.
I forgot a lot of it as well. I had to remind myself what happened.
Children of Dune. That's tough.
I did not blast through Messiah like I did with Dune,
which is weird considering it's half the size. It's a much
shorter
big. Children of Dune is that one's weird. That one takes a bit of getting through. That one.
It's weird, isn't it? It's weird. It goes places you don't expect.
Messiah's not bad. It's not as good as the first book, but it's it's pretty good tale in it. But Children, even I struggle with that one.
Yeah,
no, it said he's just been greenlit. When are they expecting the sequel to come out?
Won't see that for another couple of years.
No, it's next year. Films this summer, comes out late next year.
Oh,
really?
Wow, that seems rushed.
Wow.
No, he's had all this planned, ready to
go. Got it all in place, haven't they? Yeah,
he'll have had it written for years. All the concept art and all that will have been done. It's just literally getting the sets built and it filmed.
Yeah,
I wonder how they're going to do Aaliyah.
That's what I want to know.
I think she'll be older.
Yeah, they have to, don't they? They have to, because the monologues. Yeah,
we
3-year-old can't monologue like that.
We don't want a Twilight baby incident either, do we?
Oh,
no, we don't.
No.
But yeah, Dune. If for some reason like me you skipped it, just watch it as a piece. You don't have to know the background. You don't have to know, like I do, and Gadget knows, because we're ingrained in that. We like that lore, but you don't have to know this. It explains everything perfectly, and I like the fact that I watched it with subtitles as well, because there's bits I would have missed.
Yeah,
I wish I had
softly spoken bits, like the
softly spoken bits. Yeah,
the bit in the tent is quite hard to understand.
Yeah,
and I rewatched it at home. I did turn the subtitles on for that, because
I absolutely recommend subtitles on that. But the main thing I want to talk about is 2 computer games I finished this week. One about an hour ago, and the other this week. I finished Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection on the PS5.
What, all 4 games?
Now,
5 games?
No, there's only 2 of them. There's only 2 of them on that collection.
Oh, is there? I thought it included the first 3 as well.
No, they were already on a different collection, weren't they?
Yeah.
Drake's collection.
So, Drake's Fortune or something silly like I don't know what it's called. Nathan Drake collection, yeah. This, it basically has Uncharted 4, a Thieves End, I believe it's called, and Uncharted Lost Legacy. Now, I'd never really finished these games, because when they first came out, especially 4, loads of games were coming out. Do you know what I mean? It was in the PS4's heyday where everything was just coming out, wasn't it? There was just so much. It was hard to keep track. How many games did that console have by the end of it? Thousands.
A lot more than the PS5 does right now.
Yeah, so far. Absolutely, mate. Cracky. But yeah, I was playing this in 120 frames per second. Oh my God, it's incredible when you're playing it that. I mean, you lose some of that 4K textures, but it's worth it for that fluidity and the movement because the game's gorgeous anyway. It's absolutely stunning. I think when you pick that option, it's 1080p, but I can live with 1080p. I'm on a little monitor, do you know what I mean? But I don't know if you guys have played Uncharted 4.
I have.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't finish it because I couldn't remember how far I'd got. But when I was blasting through this game this week, I was like, why did I stop? Why would I have stopped playing this? It's an absolute romp all the way through it.
Yeah, it's great.
It doesn't stop. I thought, I see what's happening here. Like, it basically brings in a long-lost relative. I said, I know what's going to happen. No, I got it wrong. That's not what happened. And it's just, everything about it is so good. I forgot the main actor's name that plays Nathan Drake. What's his name?
Nolan North. He really, he stepped it up for this game because he doesn't overdo it. Like, I remember Uncharted 3, like, he didn't shut up throughout the whole game, literally, non-stop. Didn't shut up, picked up a gun, thank you, all that kind of. But on this, you can tell he's older and he's worn out, and there's full hours where he doesn't speak, and it's part of the story, and so it's just, it's fantastic. I thought it could never be topped, and then I played Lost Legacy for the first time, which I believe it was an expansion. I'm not sure how it works.
Standalone
DLC.
Expansion.
This is the best Uncharted game ever made.
Yeah, do you know what? I haven't played it. Everyone says that.
Yeah, I need to.
It's about 5, 6, 7 hours long. Quasi, semi-open world, so you can make it as long as you want if you want to collect everything. I collected everything. You play as Chloe from Uncharted 2, the Australian Indian girl. Remember her?
Aye.
Sassy, dark-haired. And also Nadine, who's from Uncharted 4. So I recommend you play Uncharted 4 first. And it's a follow-on of their adventures. It is canonically after Uncharted 4. So there are callbacks to that game. And it's just got the most beautiful locale. It's India. Finally, somewhere so stupidly beautiful anyway. And Indian culture's got incredible architecture as well, hasn't it? Like, you've got your Ganesh statues and your Shiva statues. It's just the temples and so. It's just so beautiful. So the main loop of this game is after the initial prologue and stuff. You're just put in this massive Indian vista in this valley, and it's like, here's your map. There's 5 different points you need to go to. Go in any order. If you want to collect special secrets, you can. If not, just do that. And the whole game has more puzzles in this 5-hour adventure than the whole saga of Uncharted up to this point. And the puzzles in Uncharted are really good, but they always, the one thing I hated about Uncharted 4 was, I can tell there's a fight coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be. You can just see there's a load of hooks, grapple hook playing. I'm just like,
load of little perfectly sized walls for you to hide.
Yeah. I was like, there's going to be a fight, and the shooting, and that's not. I don't think it's exceptional.
It's not.
In Uncharted,
it's pretty poor.
But this game's more. Go on.
Say, does Uncharted 4 still have that thing that the first 3 games? Because I haven't played Uncharted 4, but does it still have that thing that the first 3 games had, where you walk into this kind of ancient tomb, you see this thing that no one's seen for 1,000 years, you solve a puzzle and open the door, and then beyond the door is a load of soldiers shooting at you.
No, but they do make the joke about that. Like,
it was slightly immersion breaking.
on one of the levels on 4, Nathan and his brother Sam, they're open this. No one's ever stepped foot in here, and Nathan goes, you'd be surprised how many baddies can get behind these unbreakable doors.
There's a film coming out called Lost City of D. I saw a trailer for it in the cinema, where that similar joke's made. It's Sandra Bullock's character's writing a novel, like kind of an Indiana Jones style novel, and in that, she's like, the character is lying on the floor in a temple full of snakes, and she's like, why are the snakes here? Where did they come from? Why are they only attacking the protagonist and not the antagonist and everything? It's like, and she just scraps the whole thing. The joke is why? How did these snakes survive long enough for you to fall into them at the right moment?
Exactly. That's what I do like about Uncharted 4, not so much the Lost Legacy. Uncharted 4, Nathan Drake quips on how ridiculously absurd his stories were on the prior 3 games.
He's like, look, I found El Dorado. I found the pillars of something or other. Basically, what Indiana Jones gets up to, and he's still poor. Do you know what I mean? And it plays on that. And this one's got more of a tale of Four's got more of a tale where he's doing it not for fortune and glory. He's doing it to save something. But yeah, we've lost legacy. I don't know. It feels like it goes back to Pulp Roots, where this is just two badass girls going on an adventure for something. It is literally Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? They're after the tusk of Ganesh, and it's just there's something about it. It's just the puzzles are incredible. They're enough to make you scratch your head, but not enough to need to Google the answers. It just hits it perfectly, and I don't know. There's something about the ending that's gonna sit with me for a long time, because that set piece at the end, it's about an hour and a half set piece, and it's just my jaw was on the floor. Obviously, it helps being 120 frames per second, doesn't it? And not an inch of stutter whatsoever. And this game's got no loading whatsoever. None of them have got no loading because it's on PS5. You die and boom, you're back on this, which wasn't the case.
All of the set pieces throughout Uncharted have been really good. Even the third one, which a lot of people
you go back and play the first one. It's very difficult to play that first one now.
Oh, no, yeah, but the actual set pieces themselves I thought were really spot on.
Yeah,
really
like the
good.
train on 2 and the aeroplane on 3. I think
Lost was fantastic.
Lost Legacy does its set pieces better than all of them leading up to this point. For me, I want to see more of their adventure than Nathan Drake and stuff like that. I think they're exceptional characters. There's a friendship that's blossomed, and it's just, I don't know. I think Uncharted 4 is a bit too long.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it goes on for about 3 hours too long.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking hell. I thought I was at the end.
I totally agree with that.
And Lost Legacy is perfect. Like, probably closer to 8 hours, if anything, to do everything. And I just found it incredible. I don't know if it's to do with the location, because it's exciting to be in India rather than somewhere where we've always been. Do you know what I mean? It's just really, really good. I recommend anyone play it, especially the PS5 version. Whew. And if you do own either Lost Legacy or Uncharted 4 on the PS4, you can upgrade to this collection and get both games for a tenner.
Nice.
So
I head down to CX and get a cheap copy.
Exactly. That's exactly what you should do. They are exceptional. I know some people are saying, because there's 3 modes, it's quality, performance, and performance plus. People are saying playing performance if you still want a bit of ray tracing, but I just want that 120 for 8. Oh, it's so fluid. It's so sensational. And like you can scramble up like walls so fast.
You know what? You'll pick up your Switch and you'll play something in 30 frames a second, and you'll be sick. You'll vomit all over it.
It's strange what a difference it makes when you actually go back to it, because you don't notice it when you're playing it at the time until you've had 60 or 120 frames per second, and you go back and it's just like, oh, this looks just horrific.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I think it's a true testament to. This is going to sound ridiculous now, and people are going to laugh at me. I think Lost Legacy's best Naughty Dog game, full stop. I think it's better than both Last of Us.
I'll play it.
It just did something to me.
Bold claim.
It is a bold claim, and it's nowhere near as long. It's nowhere near as grand, and it hasn't got the themes that those other 2 games have got and stuff like that. It just did something to me that made me feel like I was playing Indiana Jones. Because Indiana Jones games aren't good, are they? Remember the Infernal Machine? Whew, not
barely,
but yeah, it's just I just think it's just a super game, and I think a lot of people slept on it. But yeah,
are we getting an Indiana Jones game?
You're sorry?
There's an Indiana Jones game coming out, isn't there?
Yeah.
I imagine.
Don't know, is there?
Yeah, I thought there was.
Machine Games are making
If it doesn't play like that, like Lost Legacy, there's no point. Trust me.
It's
Who's directing that new Indiana Jones game?
It's being made by Machine Games, so it's the people who did Wolfenstein.
So it's going to be a first-person shooter?
I think my boy Todd might have something to do with that. I think he's directing it, isn't he?
Your boyfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Husband.
It's going to be janky then.
Probably.
The Indiana Jones first-person shooter that nobody asked for. Excellent.
No, he's first person.
I'm guessing. It's not going to play like that. I really like Lost Legacy anyway. I don't know if you can tell. It's just really good. Play it. Play it! Moving on to Gadget.
Okay, so a few things this week. Biggie. I started reading Leviathan Wakes, the first Expanse book this week.
Hey!
You did drop a little bit of a spoiler into there when you gave your description of the fucking TV show, you little cunt.
The book. I've read the book, mate. There's massive differences. Don't worry.
I know there's massive differences, but the overall arcing plot line has a bit of a spoiler. But I like Leviathan.
Oh yeah,
Wakes.
he did spoil that.
Yeah, I like Leviathan Wakes
very little
so
spoiled,
far.
trust me.
Yes, but the whole alien technology thing that has not come up in.
It's obvious.
It
It's aliens. Come on. It's space.
It's not that obvious on Leviathan Wakes, mate.
Fucking hell, Biggie. Mind.
Right, sin bin.
Yeah, sin bin. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I wanted to get at least 2 of the books read before I started the TV series, because just when it's adaptation stuff, I kind of like to have a bit of a baseline on a few things. And also then see how... Basically, reading through the first 2 books, then I'll start the TV series. It's kind of seeing how close it sticks to the source material. Because then, if it does a Game of Thrones and goes just wildly off-piste, then I know that I can read the books separately of the TV series.
It does.
Have you read the books as well, have you? Oodles, have you read them?
All of them, yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it wildly different?
I think one of them's not finished. I think they still go. I think he's still doing it.
No, he's just
sure.
The 9th one dropped last year, and that was the last one.
That was it. Yeah, I've read that.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying Leviathan Wakes so far. I like Holden. I like Miller. I like the way the physics is set up in the world. I like the descriptions, things. I like the fact that most of the characters are flawed in some way. Some in a really generic way, like Miller being a hard-boiled cop alcoholic kind of person. It's kind of obvious. But I like the fact that Holden is like he's thrust into the position of a captain when he wasn't looking for it.
He's very underqualified.
Very underqualified for it. He's a bit of a dick. He's not very nice to women in general.
He's not in the show, to be honest.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they got that right.
Yeah, but obviously I haven't seen the TV show yet, but I do agree. Amos Forever. Amos is amazing.
So good.
Amos is the best character in the saga.
So I'm about just over halfway through the book. So they've basically just got off Eros after the incident at Eros. So that's how far through I am. And I like it a lot. I'm really enjoying it. I heard people saying like the books aren't that good, but no,
I like them, mate.
I like it. So I'll get the second one, which is, for the life of me, I can't remember the title of, Clouding War or something like that.
Something silly. I just got them all on Audible. It was the Expanse collection.
Nice. So yeah,
I'll smash through them all.
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, this is a thick, heavy book. It's like 580 pages or something. I've smashed through just about 340 in a week. So I'm doing well on it.
And they weren't very heavy in my iPhone.
No, can't imagine they would be. Other things, cracking on a bit more with Returnal. Really enjoying that still. Managed to crack.
How long you had that game now?
So
since launch?
No, because I didn't get my PS5 until the summer. But it was one of the first games I bought for it. And I hit a brick wall with it with trying to get past the first boss. I got past him, and then I just found it really, really. It was one of the, when you're playing a really difficult game and sometimes your head's just not in it.
Yes, and sometimes you have to turn it off and come back weeks later.
Yeah, so I can't turn it off.
Smash the boss straight away,
basically.
Yeah, so
I beat it straight away.
So that kind of happened to me with it. So I started playing some other things and just basically went through kind of all the way around things for about 7 months, and then came back. I was like, I've still got Returnal to finish. So I went through, managed to get to the second boss. I did exactly that, Stig. I was streaming attempts against the second boss, Ixion, and he was fucking me up left, right, and centre. I was having such a time with him.
Is Ixion lightning based by any chance?
No, he's a flying boss.
Oh, it's the Indian god of lightning. I learnt that on Lost Legacy.
Yeah, well, this is a science fiction game.
Well,
but yeah, it was
I
did a night streaming it, and I had a really fucking terrible time against Ixion. And the next day I came onto it, beat him first time straight away.
That's what you should. Yeah, that's what Dark Souls did to you when you first play that.
Yeah,
not like how Biggie plays it once a week. That's just crackers.
No, you've got to put the time into it. So I've managed to get through the third biome now. I'm up to the third boss, who is one of the most incredibly designed boss I've ever seen. Mechanically, basic as fuck. Any boss that he's got exactly the same mechanic stick as the first boss in Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, I know that.
Trying to think of which one that was now.
When, at the end of the parade when you're fighting Dr. Nefario.
All right, yeah.
Literally the same mechanic as that, just a lot more projectiles. But his visual design is incredible. It's like the game is still such a showcase of what the PS5 was capable of on day one.
Was it a day one game? That
was it a day one game?
More or less, wasn't it?
Near enough. It was like the February after it came out. So it's been.
It was definitely on the PlayStation 5 launch trailer.
Yeah, it was on
one of the most
window.
impressive ones.
Yeah, but absolutely gorgeous. I still recommend it. I'm determined to finish it at some point this year. It might not be soon though.
February's very busy.
Well, February's very busy, but also it's very fucking hard. And like I had a go of it the other day. I did 4 runs and only managed to get to the third boss Nemesis once. It's like the further you get into the game, obviously naturally it gets harder, but it's just like the enemies are through.
You reckon I'll like it then?
Oh, you'll fucking love it. It'll be up right.
Because everyone were like, because I played like Hades like the week after Hades came out. Everyone's like, I'll never get to end. I beat it in like 4 days.
Yeah,
and I'm not even good. I'm just focused.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that'll just suit your hyperfixation, and you'll just get through it.
I'm like, I've done it 2 days.
Yeah.
I've had nothing to eat.
Returning it.
The main thing I wanted to talk about was I've finally managed to get Pip into It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yes.
So
you haven't talked about that before.
I haven't. Well, I've talked a little bit about it, but this is my this is the first time I've rewatched it since my original run through. We've managed to binge through seasons 2, 3, 4, and 5 this week alone. Because I mean, they're short episodes, and there's like 10, 13 episodes a season. But yeah, absolutely loving it, and getting through some of it on a rewatch, you can see like how shaky it is in the first couple of seasons. There's a couple of bits where it's just like it's not funny; it's just people being too awful, and then it's I think from about halfway through season 3, things just start to get silly, and that's when I noticed that Pip was really starting to howl with laughter at it. I'm still fully convinced that The Night Man Cometh is the greatest TV episode ever written.
Oh, it's so good.
Because
did you watch that live show that I sent you the link to?
What was the live show of?
They did a live show of The Night Man Cometh, like to a crowd in a bar.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, and it's a song that it's still stuck in my head. Like it was like 3 days ago we watched that episode, and it's the Nightman song is still stuck in my head.
The one that I quoted in the week about the philanthropist just killed me, man.
That was
killed me.
we caught that episode the other day, and Pip was like hiding in a dressing gown, like watching that because it's so awkward. He's like,
it will make you happy to know that I have been watching this as well this week.
Excellent.
And the last episode I watched was the Hornet one.
Oh,
where there's a hornet nest in the bar, and then he took it home.
It's where the waitress is engaged.
Yes, the waitress is engaged. I think it's season 5.
Yeah, it's a season 5 episode.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm around the same area time frame you are.
I've been watching like maybe an episode a night.
It's so good, and it's Charlie trying to smoke out a box of hornets to try and get the honey that he believes that hornets create.
Yeah, even though everyone in the bars, even Danny DeVito was like, you don't get honey from hornets, and he says, well, whatever they do produce, I want to get it.
Yeah.
He's blowing the smoke into the box. He goes, they keep stinging me.
Yeah, it's
because they're trying to escape.
He's got less annoying the more I've watched it. I think you just start getting in sync with him, don't you, a little bit?
You do. You get very much in sync with the way Charlie thinks. And I like the way they write Charlie because he doesn't think like a normal human.
I don't think he is human. Canonically, he's like sub-human.
Yeah, but then he can
wild card sums that up, I think.
Yeah.
Fucking wild card episode.
He's like, cut the brakes.
Yeah. Wild card, bitches. Yeah.
He was definitely dropped on his head as a baby. Yeah.
I think it does actually go into the reason for his mental issues later on.
He's psychotic, isn't he? That's best way to.
No, he's not psychotic.
He's a sociopath.
No, he's not.
He's a sociopath.
I mean, they're all sociopaths to a point.
He's basically the latest season. You find out one of the reasons why Charlie is the way he is.
Right.
And it is not as deep as you think.
All right.
Yeah, I'm because obviously, like I said, I've seen it all before. There's a load of episodes I kind of wait for Pip to see. The main one I need to see is the Christmas special, because there is nothing more fucked up than the Christmas special of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I need to go back and watch them.
I haven't seen that yet.
Some of them I've forgotten.
I'm as far as is it the intervention episode? I think
Intervention's good. Intervention's really
brilliant.
good. That's really good.
They're
Christmas. I know which one you mean.
A Very Sunny Christmas.
Yeah.
Right? It just
I've seen that one.
Just beyond messed up. I'm dancing around it because it's one of those ones that I know it's been out for years, but I don't want to spoil what the best bits of the show, because
no.
It is absolutely worth watching.
I just remembered now that Charlie.
Yeah.
It's just clicked.
That's the bit I mean.
That one.
So just watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because it is absolutely incredible.
I still think the best episode I've seen so far is when they're pretending to be realtors.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
That was brilliant.
That's the funniest episode I've seen so far, and it's like not even like a standout episode. No one talks about it, but I just think it's so subtly incredible.
It is very good.
How just the patter that the wheeling off to each other.
We're
so funny.
We're partners in business and in life.
Yeah,
they pretend to be a realtor couple.
It's just so funny. And that's when it clicked. I was like, oh, I see what's happening now.
Yeah.
It's a good show, isn't it? I don't know.
Is Dennis as unhinged in those earlier episodes, or not?
No,
Dennis is not even. He's quite quiet.
The building Dennis up. He's had a couple of moments of being a bit messed up. There's one episode, I think it's in
he snaps, doesn't he? Sometimes.
No. There's one episode in season 3 where there's like a serial killer running around Philly, and like Dee and Dennis are trying to catch him, and they do you got to think like a serial killer, and so like they're going to dress up what they think a serial killer would be like, and this the plan is that they're going to like try and reenact it with the waitress, and he's saying Dee, okay, so we catch her, and then we we stab her, then we kind of bury her, and she's like, no, we're not actually killing us, no, we're trying to be serial killers. Yeah, you think like that. And he said, he just doesn't get that they're not actually killing her.
Yeah, it's just.
But the real psychopath Dennis stuff doesn't really start until about season 7, I think. The Fat Max.
They're all fucking morons, aren't they?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, they all think they're cleverer than they are, but they're not.
Yeah.
I can only just watch them in batches. I can't binge watch.
Same, mate. I can maybe
binge
2 episodes at once.
Absolutely, I can binge it.
It's so chaotic.
That's what's great about it.
Because Dennis is a bastard, man. That's what
the other one I'm looking forward to Pip seeing is Chardy McDennis, where they have to play the very messed up game that they've all created, and it's rules that don't make sense, and it's just chaos, utter chaos. It's incredible.
Cool, excellent, brilliant. Candy, you're the last one.
I know. I've done 3 things this week, actually. The first thing, just quickly, after we spoke about it last week, I watched The Descent directly after we recorded the podcast.
Oh, that's a good thing to watch on a Sunday night.
Oh my goodness me, that's horrible, isn't it?
I have to watch that film like I remember starting because I never saw it in cinema. I watched it at home first time, and I was in my covers and stuff. And like, no, I've got to be free.
That's how I watched it. I had to get out, open all the windows.
Yeah,
but you're right. Even without the little goblin things, it's bad enough. And I actually had a nightmare after it as well. So
I was dreaming about goblins because they will turn up.
These weird things after the pod. We get finished really late. And the other week you watched and started The Net, and last week you started The Descent.
Yeah. I know, because I think, well, I must watch it before I forget. And Sunday nights is kind of my Saturday night because I have Mondays off. So
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so there was that. But yeah, the main couple of things. I started a TV show called Euphoria. I've only watched the first season so far. The second season is halfway through. It's being released weekly at the moment, so I might wait.
Is this the one with Zendaya in?
That's right, yeah. So it's kind of a coming-of-age drama focusing on Rue, who is Zendaya's character. Basically, she's a drug-addicted teenager who's recently just come out of a forced rehab. So the story sort of starts.
We've all been there.
Well, less said about that, the better. So it starts within the first few days of her being ejected from rehab, and she's got absolutely no intention of actually becoming sober. She was kind of forced to go there and just not interested. So it follows her and a group of her peers around the same age, all high schoolers, within about a 6-month span of their lives. Each episode featuring one particular character in their history sort of more prominently. So what you have, it's almost a collection of stories with an overarching storyline of how Rue's addiction affects them all. And the way I'm describing it kind of makes it sound like a bunch of teenagers in their high school shenanigans, but it's actually a really dark and gritty, and it takes all the kind of usual tropes of high schoolers and their stereotypes and breaks it down, and it explores those characteristics a bit more deeply than we usually see. Actually, it's really intriguing to watch how Zendaya plays her character in that compared to how she plays it in Spider-Man. It's such a different role. But all the characters are so well written because of the weekly format that I just mentioned. You do kind of feel an emotional connection with all of them, even the ones that kind of merge into the background a bit in the first few weeks. And I don't want to say it gives a sympathetic backstory to the arseholes, because it really, really doesn't. It kind of portrays that arseholes sometimes are just fucking dicks. The first episode feels slightly different tonally to the rest of the season. I think episode 2 is where it really starts to get good, like the writing gets really good. But the show has so many layers. I think I'd struggle to talk about just how good it is in the time I have. It has had a lot of hype online, and I think it is deserving of it, because every character in the series has one scene in particular that's worthy of an Emmy, like every single character.
Wow.
It's so good. I can't recommend it.
It's on Now TV, isn't it?
Now TV, yes. I'm carrying on down my Now TV, Sky TV adventure. So that was next on my list.
I keep getting codes to get a free month, so I'm going to start.
Do it. There's a lot on there.
Dishing them out and using them myself.
Yeah, there is a lot on there at the moment worth catching up on.
I will do, pal. I will.
Codes for all.
Codes for everyone.
A lot of the scenes are set at teenage parties, and one thing when I was doing my research tonight, obviously today, obviously you read the comments and everything, and a lot of the criticism I've seen is people saying it's unrealistic portrayals of like teenage parties, because we all remember what it's like. You go around somebody's house and you end up just kind of sitting in somebody's front room drinking a concoction of whatever's in their parents' alcohol drawer.
Not me, sweetheart.
Yeah, American parties, teenage parties, all in films and stuff, always look like mad raves and stuff. And I was like, I don't remember house parties being like that.
You went to the wrong ones.
Yeah, this is exactly how it's portrayed. And you've got, the amazing kind of disco lighting and the sound systems and everything. The overbearing soundtrack. But I think that, like, to me, it kind of illustrates the feeling of being a high. I think that's what they were going for, rather than trying to be unrealistic. It's not
when I were a teenager, it was all about camping out, so adults couldn't find us.
Or going around to whoever's house, or going down the park.
Yeah, it was hiding from adults, wasn't it? That was the thing. So I wasn't allowed to drink and do other things. Let's just call it cigarettes. But I did it anyway. And then the challenge was like coming in early hours of the morning, pretending you weren't off your nut.
Yeah.
That was the fun.
Where have you been? Oh, around my mate's house.
Deeply religious mother saying,
drunk?
This is not good.
No. Why are your eyes red? Your eyes are red.
What's that smell?
Or my mother getting that phone call. Hello, we've got your son. It's the police. We've got your son. Again. Oh,
it's
no.
The kidnappers again.
Do you want him back?
But yeah, it's really good. It's not an easy watch. It's full on emotionally. If I were to list the trigger warnings, I'd be here all night. So just what you're in for.
Would you say go for Euphoria first or Yellow Jackets?
Oh, they're so different. Probably Yellow Jackets, but barely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would say. If you're feeling it slightly emotionally vulnerable at any point, just don't watch Euphoria. Because it's bad.
I'm always emotionally vulnerable.
So you might want to give this one a swerve, though. I will say as well, if you're a parent to teenagers, just don't bother. Don't watch it. Just don't put yourself through that kind of worry. Not worth it.
Okay. What's the other thing?
So the main thing I want to talk about, I can't wait to talk about this, is Cyberbang 2069.
Cyberbang.
You did pure research for the pod, I think your comment said.
It was literally just research. Didn't want to play it, but I do it for you guys. So
what the hell is Cyberbang? Is it a porno?
I'll tell you. So you might have heard of it because there's a few of the bigger gaming news outlets have started to pick. I think it's been out a while actually, but they're just starting to kind of pick up on it. So it's a visual novel / fanfic by Triple Thirst Studios, who are Cyberpunk fans and clearly ladies after my own heart. I love that. I think it's just 3 girls that make it. Yeah. So essentially, it's like a dating sim. If it will eventually focus on a bunch of characters. At the moment, as far as I know, only male ones. At the moment, it's only Oda that you can play, and then Johnny and a couple of the others have demos. But this was actually made with the permission of CD Projekt Red, who they've got sort of clear outlines regarding fan work. Although it's not endorsed, they're completely within their rights to use the artwork and stuff for
what the
Cyberpunk.
Fuck is this?
Does he want a game that works out there?
So you've actually got this really, really nice artwork in the proper sort of cyberpunk backgrounds. But yeah, as I said, you've got a full story that surrounds Oda, and it's Takamura, Johnny Silverhand, and there's going to be one for Victor Vector as well. And I was slightly disappointed that I'll have to wait for 50 Shades of Silver. You know what I'm saying?
Is that what it's called?
50 Shades of Silver, amazing.
It's not called that, but it should be. They can have that. I'll let them have it. Now, I should make something absolutely clear. This is not a tacky 5-minute spank. This is not cheap smut. This is a fully fledged epic tale of romance. Ooh. And honestly, there's a lot of exposition before you get to the banging. I was surprised.
It actually is banging.
That was a very Frank Reynolds way of putting things.
I mean, it's true. There was a lot of preamble before the bang in Cyberbang.
There is in real life.
The preamble before the fumble.
Not always. Yeah.
Not always, no.
Now, I actually reached out to Triple Thirst Studios to ask how I should describe this. To ask how I should describe this.
What type of reach out did you do?
Predominantly male audience. And Bean, who is the story director, kindly got back to me. And Bean said, the biggest thing is that with a project like Cyberbang and seeing the reception, people are clearly not quite prepared to play games made by an almost, so it's not all females, almost an entirely female dev team. Our vision and priorities are a little bit different than other games in a similar genre, so 18 plus visual novels. And I believe that's why we've achieved success with our story, because we're sensitive to human connection and what it is that makes your heart beat a little bit faster. So while the name and concept is a bit campy, we want to make players feel like they're in an experience where they're appreciated and cared for. So it's actually quite sweet. And honestly, after playing Oda's story, I feel like they did achieve that pretty well, because I felt my knees go weak a couple of times.
Did it get your fanny beaten?
I think, towards the banging sections, the fanny got a flapping.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice. 5 fanny beats out of 5.
Do you know what? When that happens and you're not expecting it, it's just... I have to say, though, I did have one slightly horrifying sort of crash back to reality. One of those moments where the screen goes dark, and I was kind of presented with a reflection of myself, much like now. So I had a glass.
What were you doing?
I had a glass of wine and a spliff in one hand, and then the other hand I had in a packet of bugles. One bugle on each finger.
Yeah. We've all been there.
Wearing
I think
dirty
bugles
pajamas,
incredible
kind of
gaming snacks.
Flumped in my chair, and I just looked and I thought to myself, well, at least I don't have a cyber girlfriend called Becky.
Hey.
What a dickhead. What a dickhead.
So Cyberbang, 10 out of 10.
I don't want to talk about Becky either, by the way.
She broke up with you.
Now you're going to have to.
Dumped him.
She broke up with you.
She's disappeared. I go onto the app and it says you have to make a new avatar.
Oh, she's left you, mate.
You've been ghosted.
So I just deleted the app. But yeah, Cyberbang.
Cyberbang 2069.
I'm looking forward to the pod art for this one. But yeah, excellent. Right, on to the main event. And this is all Biggie now, so I'm going to take it away, Biggie. You're in charge.
Oh, Biggie.
Thank you very much. So, my question is, what makes a weapon great? Why is it your favourite? The one you instantly go to wreak havoc? Which one blew your mind when you first seen it in action? If you're playing an action game, and then it's likely that you'll be armed to the teeth, Does it fit in with the narrative and feel of the game as you'll be using this predominantly throughout? Basically, does your shotgun go chick, chack, boom, right? So we're talking about our favourite and least worst favourite weapons.
Excellent. Take it away, big man.
So I thought I'd start it off. So I'm covering two here quickly because I found it really difficult to choose between the two of them. I really wanted to talk a bit about both. So the first one I'm picking is from Dead Space, the plasma cutter.
Yeah.
So when you play Dead Space, your character as an engineer traverses around the good ship Ishimura, a mining ship, fighting off against the nasty necromorphs while struggling to hold his own mind together. So it naturally makes sense that you're not equipped as a soldier with a 1,000-round magged pulse rifle. Instead, you're kitted out with a plasma cutter, purely designed for cutting through softer materials. It cuts through plasma, Vinny, with 2 alignment blades on the side.
That's with plasma.
With 2...
I like that. Sorry, mate.
Thank you. With 2 alignment blades on the side and 3 on the front, you can toggle between the 2 as it accurately cuts through the limbs of the fuckers that are coming at you. It's absolutely necessary, as it's the best way to survive, as you cut the appendages down off these monsters and finish them off with a stomp on the head. Combined with the stasis skill that you pick up later on, allows you to slow them down. You can complete the game with that weapon and unlock achievements, trophies. You can find other weapons to use, but basically you can go through the whole game literally just using that one weapon. It gets more powerful, faster reloading, ammo, etc. So literally after one of the intense fights, you've been surrounded from all sides, enemies coming at you with teeth glaring, horrible appendages, and you're switching between the blades and stomping away. You can take a breather for a moment and you feel utterly badass that you literally made it through that. It's so stressful playing that game, but they nail it with that weapon for me. What do you guys think?
Yeah. Did you know in real life a Ukrainian man invented a needle gun which was inspired by the plasma cutter? Do you know how it goes vertical and horizontal? He developed that and made a lot of money from that.
Really?
But yeah, like for work, like a nail gun type thing.
Because that's how they feel it would actually work. Is more like a nail.
Yeah.
The sort of power behind it.
I think that plasma cutter sets that game apart. When the first one especially sets it apart from Resident Evil and stuff like that. I think it was a genius move by Visceral to do that and not have magnums and assault rifles, because you do get that type of guns.
We do there's a pulse rifle in the game.
There is.
Yeah, but I think it's genius. Like we were ingrained, especially at that point in our lives, ingrained to aim for the head. And that's not what you're supposed to do.
No, it takes a little while to adjust. And the fact that the head-up display isn't there as well, because your health is your spine, isn't it?
It's on your spine, isn't it?
So also it's quite dark in the game, so having that plasma cutter as well kind of lights up the area when you're using it as well. It's kind of almost like a torch.
I think it's genius, man.
It's superb.
I think it's genius.
Amazing.
It's a great weapon.
Amazing weapon for me. But the second one I wanted to talk about was, of course, the Leviathan axe from God of War.
Oh.
And I know we talked about this game before, so I'm not going to go on about it too much, but I just wanted to mention that when you first play God of War, it comes with that new combat system, the camera view, and for me it took away one of the defining weapons for Kratos, was those Blades of Chaos. And I wanted to rush outside, shout at the clouds, and what have you done to my Kratos? But it doesn't take too long before you fall in love with the new addition that is the Leviathan axe. Because once you start using it and carving up the chaos and throwing it around, you get that wonderful animation, the sound as it comes flying back to you like Thor's hammer.
It's got a nice thunk to it, doesn't it?
It feels heavy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Have you played it on PS5 with the updates? Yes. When it makes the controller go funny?
I love it. It's just...
It goes thunk.
Such a great game.
That's so good.
Just never get tired of it. And it's not just for that, because it's used to open areas, it solves puzzles, it's upgradable. It's just fucking badass.
It's got ice power, hasn't it?
Yeah. As you unlock all the different things, you can use it for different fighting scenarios. You can kill one enemy, leave it embedded, and then if another one appears, you can recall the axe and it passes through them. It's just glorious. There are moments when you're forced to go unarmed in combat against certain enemies, but it's not long before you suddenly realise you want that axe back. It just, they nailed.
He's really good with his fists, though, as well, isn't he, in this one?
Yeah,
handy with them.
He's so brutal. But yeah, with that axe, I never really missed the Blades of Chaos. So when you do, spoiler, maybe have them later in the game. I always generally, where I could, go back to the axe because it's just so brutal.
I need to do my nerd thing here. 1 second. I need to put my glasses on and go. Actually, they shouldn't have been the Blades of Chaos on this game because he had the Blades of Olympus on the last game. But let's just forget that. And thematically, it worked.
But yeah, it's so good. I mean, I think you've all played it. Have you all finished it?
Yep.
Oh god, I think it's an exceptional game. I'm very
classic.
looking forward to the new one. It is a modern classic.
I'm interested to see what they do with Ragnarok, how that's all going to work, because they're obviously not going to tinker too much with what already works. So
there was that that guy that leaky thing on Twitter where it got, I don't know if it got kiboshed or not, but they're saying there's going to be a lot of spear based weaponry on this new one. Because it's not a real thing that Kratos has ever had to do, is it? Spears.
Yeah, you can get it.
Do you think that would be Kratos, or would that be Boy that uses the spears?
This is what I think. Would it be Boy?
I think it'll be Atreus using the spear
because he's bigger, isn't he? He's a bit older in this one. So
if you chuck a spear and then recall it, you're going to be sort
of. Speaking of weapons from that game as well, it's not my favourite useful weapon, but Atreus is very well done in that game. It could be so easy to have an annoying little kid running around, getting in your way.
You just bash triangle and his arrow in.
But he is really useful at times.
Yeah, totally agree.
He's a good addition.
Yeah, he's so
as a weapon himself.
As a weapon,
he's good.
No, he is. You can treat him as a weapon.
He's your magic as well, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah,
and you need an upgraded Atreus if you want to take on some of the Valkyries at the end.
That's probably been one of the most satisfying boss rushes I've ever done. The Valkyries.
Yeah,
I loved
great.
Every single fight.
Really,
I was
sweating so much.
I didn't complete them all.
Yeah, they really tested me.
But yeah, I definitely.
The last one, I think Gadget and Stig's done, and the last one. That is a proper test.
So fucking hard.
Test. It took me. I'm not lying. It took me 10, 15 goes, but when I got it, that was a better moment than some Dark Souls bosses.
Ooh.
I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "I've done it."
Yeah,
I did one Valkyrie. I was like, "That's enough of that."
The first one's the easiest one, unfortunately. But it depends which one you go first, isn't it? Because you can do them in any order by the end.
No, but I think
let's assume I went for the hardest.
Isn't the last one only unlocked when you do the?
Yeah. You've got to do all the other ones then the last one.
Yeah,
you got to put the crowns on the thing, haven't you? In that ring. That last one's that's an exceptional boss. That's optional. How dare they? It's like I love it when games do that. They put some of the best work that no one's going to see unless you put the effort in.
If that boss was in the main game.
So many
people wouldn't finish it.
It was a proper test. That was one of my gaming achievements of last gen. I was like, I've done the final Valkyrie. I was in tears. I was like, I've done it, and you get incredible treasure for doing it, and everything. It's just so worth it. Everything about it's so satisfying, and the axe is just the.
And
absolutely,
it's very hard to when you played all the original games, the Blades of Chaos and everything else, get in that game. That I never thought they would have changed that direction. And to whoever came up with that idea to go, you know what, let's use this fucking axe, and that he can recall it.
You should watch the documentary on it. It tells you why they did that.
It's such a great idea. Brilliant. And yeah, you don't miss those blades. So I just think that axe is now part of Kratos' story.
There was a Reddit Ask Me Anything, and they asked, who's the director?
Corey Barlog.
They said, did you copy Mjolnir? He went, yeah. I fucking did. It's super cool. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? But talking about least favourite weapon, I was thinking of a few things for this, and I put them in my honourable mentions list because whilst
so many bad ones.
I was researching, I came across this clip on Titnet, so I thought I'd share it with you guys because I'd never seen this before. It blew my mind. So I'm going to share the screen for everyone.
Oh, here we go.
It's a very short clip, so I shall explain it for the
audio listeners. Sorry.
So just see if I can get this right. So
this is where you turn it off and breaks it.
Biggie trying to use the new feature. Our new feature.
Shut up.
I hope he hasn't got his porn history on it.
Let me know if you can see my screen, please, guys.
It says BBWs there. What's that? What's that mean?
Can you see it?
I can't see shit.
Hang on.
No. Oh, Something's happening. I've been moved.
There we go. Oh,
look at all them porn things. Oh my god. Okay, banana.
It is literally this.
Oh my god. Have you vetted this for inappropriate thing? Oh my god. What is this? What is this? Okay. Oh, it's got a banana. He's peeling the banana. This is for the audio listeners. He's peeling the banana. And he's using it
look at
to
that.
slash
someone's throat with a banana.
Weapon, that is incredible.
He's killing people with a banana. Oh, it's stuck in his heart.
what the fuck?
So for the listeners,
Banana, the
How
ultimate
did he
weapon
slash
of
somebody's
destruction.
throat with a banana?
it's this is Tollywood.
That's broke your internet, by the way, putting that on.
It's basically Telugu cinema, Indian film in which the protagonist is dressed as a cop. He basically looks like an Indian version of Bobby Bull. And with bodies slain all around him, he's looking pretty fucked up. All of a sudden, 4 men come round the corner, various types of wooden clubs. Oh no, what's he going to do? No need to worry as he bends down to his ankle, and where most policemen keep a spare snub-nosed revolver, nope, it's a small banana. He holds it up in defiance, peels back the skin. In several deft manoeuvres, he slices and dices the throats and chests of his would-be attackers, taking 4 out before he kills the 5th with a distance by throwing his dagger-like tree-based fruit into the heart of his final victim.
Fucking
Wonder
hell.
why he had to unpeel it. Like, you would think it'd be stronger if the skin was still on.
It's the power of the,
Yes,
Why
power
did he
of the
stop Steve
banana.
Buncher? He could have had throwing bananas. A whole fucking bunch of them, literally.
Yeah, I'll share that.
I think that's
clip
incredible.
for the listeners and viewers so they can hopefully find it. But yeah, I just couldn't top that myself. I just couldn't find anything else more surreal than that.
Bananas also grow on, not on trees, by the way. They're not classed as trees. But never mind.
Okay. Thanks, Dad.
Got you thinking now, haven't I? They're not trees.
Well, speaking of
They
which,
look like
I will
trees,
go with
but
you,
not
Oodles,
trees.
next. So what's your choice?
Oh, fuck's sake. Smart! Yeah, I've got my favourite and my least favourite. The first one I want to talk about, I changed it up massively. The Soul Reaver
Ooh.
from the Legacy of Kain games. Now, being the ex-goth that I am, the Legacy of Kain games left a lasting impression in my life in the mid-noughties. Obviously, there's a lot of them. I think there's about 6 games in total.
Something like that. The
Something like
balance
that.
between like Legacy of Kain ones and Soul Reaver ones.
Yeah, and the Soul Reaver ones, yeah. So the Soul Reaver is the whole saga of Legacy of Kain revolves around this sword. Basically, it's a flamberge. If you don't know what a flamberge is, it's a big 2-handed wavy sword with a skull on the hilt. And Gadget knows it's cool as fuck.
Absolutely.
To look at. It's super metal.
No, super goth.
What? It's super goth, yeah. So it's appeared in every title in Legacy of Kain in some form or fashion. Like I said, it's a serpentine blade, and it's made from the energy of the Pillars of Nosgoth. If you don't know the tale of the Legacy of Kain games, the Pillars are the central factors of the universe of Nosgoth, or the land of Nosgoth. Without those pillars, life ceases to exist, and so on and so forth. It's very weird to get into the lore of Soul Reaver. It's an Amy Hennig tale, and she's really good at world building and stuff like that.
Yeah, she is.
So yeah, the Reaver is originally an enchanted sword forged by one of the great vampires, Vorador. And he basically created this sword to kill a hidden enemy that you don't even find out until the 4th game that this enemy exists. It's very clever world building. It's better known as the sword that Cain de Corhagen, the main character of Legacy of Kain, wields. Everyone knows what Cain looks like on Legacy of Kain. Pale.
Yeah.
White hair, super goth, vampire. And these vampires are different. They suck blood by just sucking a stream of blood out of their bodies. It's so cool. It's not very apparent straight away in the lore that the Soul Reaver is a mega sword. He doesn't even get Soul Reaver until near the end of the first game. And in the first game, it's a bit like Diablo, isn't it, Gadget? It's a bit point and click, a bit like Zelda / Diablo.
Yeah.
It's and you get this sword, and near the end of the game, it just says, "You got Soul Reaver," and you can use it. That's it. There's nothing to it until the final cutscene about, oh, by the way, this sword means something. And later on in the saga, Cain takes over the world, basically, and he creates lieutenants. One of the most famous lieutenants is Raziel. Everyone knows who Raziel is in Legacy of Kain. Got really nice hair, really, really nice hair. And basically, Cain betrays him, turns him into a wraith by means and thrown him into an abyss. And then we see nothing of the Soul Reaver for a while until Raziel meets up with Cain again. Now they have a war, a fight. Cain tries to kill Raziel with the Soul Reaver. It shatters, completely destroying it. And then you get the Spectral Blade, which is probably just as famous as the Soul Reaver equivalent, as its material version. It looks like a lightsaber, and it's fucking badass, and it twists up Raziel's arm, and he can use it to suck up souls and stuff like that. And then, you remember, I think it came out on the Dreamcast first, Soul Reaver. He has it all. It's just super cool, and basically the whole saga from then on is Cain and Raziel meeting up in different times, because of time and timey-wimey, and these swords meeting each other and always battling. And it's just, I don't know, there's just something really cool about the lore of this actual weapon. It's more important than the actual characters. It gets to the point where, you know, like in the extended Star Wars universe, how they say how important lightsabers are and stuff like that, but it's just additive bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
With this, the sword is literally the most important thing in its spectral version or its physical version. And because the sword exists at two different times, and if they meet, it creates paradoxes, which just ruin the whole lore of the universe. And it's just, it's so fucking cool and so goth. I just adore it. Rather than me explain, it's best to just look these two. It's actually one weapon, but two different forms, and it's just, it's so badass. You can enchant it. Proper D&D rules. You can enchant it with fire. You can enchant it with poison. You can enchant it with light and darkness. It's just so fucking bad. I love the Soul Reaver, everything about it, and it's a long dormant franchise that just kills me every time I think about the fact that they're just not there anymore. And the Steam versions don't support controllers either.
No, you'd have to use a mouse and a keyboard, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's so shit. But, yeah.
I think even it's Tamor, isn't it? He always talks about Soul Reaver. He wants to see that come back.
Well, this Tamor is correct then. It needs to come back. It really does need to come back. It's got such a beautiful... They didn't even make novels or anything of it, and they could have done it. It's just prime for it. But the Soul Reaver itself is... I can't speak too much about it because it spoils everything about it. But it's just such an incredible weapon.
I don't think we're ever going to get any of the Legacy of Kain games back because they were developed by Crystal Dynamics, which are owned now by Square Enix.
Square, yeah.
So, no, we're not getting them, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I'll spoil it for you then if you want. So it turns out, spoiler klaxon, Raziel is the embodiment of the Soul Reaver. He is just a corporeal version of it. He is the sword. And you've been playing as the sword all the way through it. Oh, yeah. And that's what the saga is. By the end, Cain has to kill Raziel and get him back into the sword. And then together, they are a good team. One's a sword, one's a vampire, and it's so cool.
Yeah. Hang on a second. There is a rumor here for you.
Oh no, I'm going to spoil something.
No. I don't know if I trust the website. This is glitch.online. But
okay.
Apparently there is a Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver remaster in development.
Fuck off, mate.
That's what I'm saying. I would take it with a pinch of salt because I've never heard of glitch.online, but
if you remember the first game, the first Soul Reaver game, the first one with, I mean, even Legacy of Kain had voice acting, but not much. But the first Soul Reaver, it's so much dialogue. It absolutely blew my mind. It blew my mind. Like, people talk about Kojima having long cutscenes. This game had like half an hour just dialogue chats about the lore of the world. It's so good. Bring it back. But yeah, my worst weapon. Now this it's got a lot. I've got a lot to discuss about this. So you all know I love Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I love Batman. But his theming conventions are by far the most annoying aspects of his character. So, Batmobile, Batwing, bat grapnel, etc., etc. You could say this is part of his fear campaign against his rogue gallery. And films have touched on this, like that's why he calls it this. It's absolutely stated that that's why he's named things that. Like, but why does Batman name his computer the Bat Computer, the Bat Cave, the Bat Radio, the Bat Signal, the Bat Train? Yes, he has a Bat Train.
He's got a brand to protect.
And the worst offender, in my opinion, is the Batarang.
How dare you? You forgot the Bat credit card.
The Bat Shark.
Never leave the cave without it.
The Bat Shark Repellent. No, the Shark Repellent Bat Spray.
The Bat Spray, yeah.
That's so fucking incredible, though. I'll just get my trusty shark repellent out.
Stamatites.
So for me,
what was the Simpsons one? Get my trusty carousel reversal spray.
Yeah. And for me, they should have stopped. He should have intervened by Alfred. A lot of it's Alfred's fault.
He's an enabler.
He's his quartermaster. Right. He's an enabler. He should have told Bruce to spend less time worrying about every single accessory fitting that theme. Making a deadly boomerang thing bat-shaped makes it hard to store, hard to throw, and in reality would be next to impossible to catch without severing 3 of your own fingers. It's ridiculous. I like how Christopher Nolan does the bat stuff. He doesn't name it the Batmobile, it's just the tumbler. The Batwing is just the bat. It makes it simpler, but I just don't like how he has to name everything that.
Or everything has to be shaped like a bat.
Yeah,
you got a bat toaster.
It doesn't like.
Toast
I kind of get where the. Yeah,
of course he does.
I kind of get where they were going at with the stuff that the baddies see, like, you know what I mean, like the Batmobile and all that, the Bat Signal and stuff like that. But why do you call it the Bat Computer? No one knows he has a computer apart from him and Alfred.
Who makes all this for him? Because I know it's meant to be Lucius Fox, but not one guy cannot make all this by himself.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking. I just don't like, because I love Batman, and I like Frank Miller Batman and Grant Morrison Batman, where it's not him and his gadgets, it's him and his sheer will and his moral compass. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I just think the Batarang's stupid. Like
they wouldn't fly anywhere, really, would they? Like,
no,
especially like if they're
not boomerang shaped.
No, but especially if like you look at the Nolan one. Yeah, like, it's a big heavy bit of metal. No matter how hard you chuck it, it's not going to fly like a fucking ninja star thing.
If you play the Arkham games, you can they bend round corners and stuff.
You can radio control them, can't you?
This is the weird thing why I picked it though. Like, you can see how cool it is because it is fucking cool, isn't it? But it's impractical. It's completely impractical. It's like, how could he... Like, he throws a batarang at a baddie. There's 2 things that could happen. Either it sticks in the skull and they're dead, or it doesn't hit them. They can pick that up and go to the police, Batman's attacked me, can I sue him? Do you know what I mean? It's America, remember?
They're like, that's an insurance company issue, not ours.
Yeah. How do you know it's Batman? Well, look at it. It's got Batarang on the bottom. It's just pathetic. I don't like it. I never have. Like, the Bat Grapnel gun. Why the fuck would you just call it that rather than just a hook?
Grapple gun or something, sense. I actually have an honourable mention later on of something that is cool, but I think completely impractical and stupid. So I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, because it is, as a reader or as a viewer, you think, oh, this is so cool. It's like James Bond. But James Bond doesn't call it the Bond laser pen or the Bond card. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense why you do that. It's like, this is a man that's supposed to be in the shadows. He's a ninja. Ninjas don't, I mean, they do call them ninja stars.
Shurikens, actually.
It's like,
there would be loads of just those little black batarangs lying around Gotham, wouldn't there?
There'd be absolutely tons.
All of Alfred's spare time is on the metal lathe, just like cutting them down.
Like, there's one in one of Grant Morrison's books with the Batman ink where he turns Batman into a incorporated militia group where, because Batman's too old now, he can't do it, and he gets loads of Batman in every city. There's a Batman or a Batwoman, and it's stuff like where Alfred says, will you stop calling it the Bat Cowl? It's just a cowl that's shaped like a bat. Do you know what I mean? Even Alfred's like, I'm sick to death of this. Can we just... Like the Bat Cave. on the Adam West of the Bat piano. Like, shut up! Fucking shout that out. They're gonna hear you. It's just stupid, and I hate it. I love the character so much, but
is it? I'm going on my Penguin computer.
No, none of them else do it. Like even the Joker stuff's laughing gas. That makes sense. It's more punny, isn't it, than on the nose? But I just think it's stupid, and he needs to learn from it. Like look at Nightwing. Like spoiler alert for the book. He's the current Batman. Dick Grayson's Batman now, and he stopped naming stuff Bat stuff. I mean, he even shaved down the ears on his Batcowl because he went, I keep banging my head on door arch. It's impractical. You still got to kind of look scary, and you want the villains to know that you're Batman, but he shaves them down to like little nubs, and he just grounds it all better. And I don't know. I just think it's gone too far now. Like 60 years, Batman. Come on, stop it.
Grow up.
I totally agree.
Grow up, Batman. But yeah, they're my. I've got loads of honourable mentions.
Yeah. Go on, Stiggy, you're next.
Right. So one of my favourites is the
Batarang.
Why did you do him so dirty, Oodles? No, this is a current standard issue assault rifle of the Coalition of Ordered Governments for fighting on the front lines. Designed by Adam Phoenix during the first year of the Locust War. Indeed, talking about the Mark II Lancer assault rifle.
I didn't know what you were on about them for a while. I was like, what's he talking about? I thought you were a real weapon.
So the Lancer is the Gears of War series flagship weapon. It's a combination of a mid to long range assault rifle with a 420 ammo clip count and with a chainsaw attached to the end as a bayonet.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
So yeah, it looks cool as fuck, and it's cool as fuck to play. It's a big, meaty assault rifle. It feels great to shoot, and chopping up Locust and Bad Guy and anything in between with it is just so much fun. I have played all 5 Gears of War games, and I've never once got tired of using that chainsaw.
It's so much fun.
Wait, where do they actually put the hand? Obviously, you've got one hand on the trigger. Does it go in a slot?
Yeah, there's a slot, so the chainsaw goes around the outside. And you put your hand
so you're holding
the
gun rather than a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I think since around Halo times, there's been a button for a dedicated melee attack. It's become pretty standard in shooters now, whether it's like a quick knife stab or just I think Halo's like an elbow to the face or a pistol whip or something. But this gun took it to the next level. So there are in Gears, you do that. You do have the pistol whip with other weapons, but this thing had the ability to rev up this chainsaw on the end. It sounds amazing. It looks great, and you could just go and stick it through a bad guy. And you had
now that's fucking metal.
Yeah, and you had different. You have different animations depending on whether you attack them from a front, from behind, whether they're or kneeling down or whatever. So you get various different kill animations with this, and it is satisfying every single time.
Is it a one-hit kill?
Yeah, if you catch him with, because you put a chainsaw through him and rip him in half.
Yeah, but I don't know what creatures you fight.
No, there are some that it doesn't affect. There are some of the bigger ones which I have tried because I wanted to see whether you could do it.
It'd be nice if you could chop the legs off.
You can't kill a berserker with it. That would be good if you could actually use it to kind of chop the legs down and do them over. But mainly the ground-based ones, the Locust, and a few of the others, I think you can just chop them into little pieces.
That's fucking cool. What about in multiplayer? Can you chop the other players?
Yep.
Fucking hell, I bet if you heard that coming around when you're on a deathmatch.
It's very hard in multiplayer because that's the thing. It isn't like a normal melee attack, so you can't go up to and press a button B and it does it. You actually have to rev up the chainsaw. And I think a lot of people kind of view it as a last-ditch effort kind of one, but
risk-reward type
if
thing.
I see a bad guy, I only ever play Gears of War campaign, I'm not into the multiplayer, but if I see a bad guy there and I'm like, I can get there, I just run at them with a chainsaw, rev it up and just stick it into them.
Of course you fucking do, that's exactly
always
what you
deliberate, always methodical and personal.
It's really gory, isn't it?
Gears
of War as well. Like blood splattering everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's really visceral. Like the more the series has gone, the more they've like made it look.
Oh, that's cool.
Like it would do if you stuck a chainsaw in someone's gut and just and pulled it up their body through their head.
They really did earn that 18 certificate, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. So I found this quote here that says, "It was important for us to create a unique silhouette for the Lancer so that it would be easily identifiable and instantly associated with Gears combat," which it is. If you saw that, you know that's the Lancer, you know it's Gears.
It's on the title, isn't it? On the logo. On one of them, I'm sure
probably.
It is.
So that was from Cliffy B, the elusive, legendary Cliffy B. Or I don't know what he's doing these days. It's a bit of a bellend, isn't he?
Yeah, he went a bit Ridley Scott on younger gamers and what people want.
Oh, okay.
But bear in mind, like the last game that he developed was Lawbreakers, which kind of fucking did nothing.
I've never even heard of it.
That was his attempt at doing a Overwatch kind of hero shooter thing, but he insisted on it being a box product for like 40 quid, rather than and just before it came out, Apex Legends came out for free.
Did it for free. So he plays exceptional.
Yeah. I mean, he's I will be kind of grateful to him for bringing this game and bringing this gun to us gamers, really. So he said, obviously, early on in Gears development, we knew that our default gun should be very distinctive, multifunctional, and most importantly, fun to use. And let's be honest, we were all big fans of the Evil Dead, Doom, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So mix them all together. And what I actually like about Gears of War and this gun is it is the default gun.
Yeah,
this is the gun you start with. You don't start with a shit pistol and have to work your way up to this. This is the standard issue gun that you're given and say, right, there you go have fun. Shoot this meaty gun.
Quite a brave move, isn't it?
Chop people in half.
Is there anything more disappointing in Gears of War, though, when like you've had a period of time where you've had to use one of like the special weapons to deal with a big baddie or something, and you go back to find a Lancer on the floor and you pick one up and it's just the normal bayonet one.
Oh,
it's
not
a
chainsaw
Lancer.
Fuck that off.
No.
Oh, there's one without a chainsaw.
It's just got a normal bayonet, and you just.
So this is.
I bet you're fucked off when you find that.
This is the Mark II. So the original one was just had a knife on the end.
Did they ever do anything different with like rather than a chainsaw, have like a flamethrower on it, or anything else?
Just the two versions of the Lancer.
Grenade launcher.
No.
Oh, that's cool.
Did anyone spot it in Ready Player One?
Yep.
That was the highlight of the film for me. So,
the highlight of the film was the Gundam.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Wasn't it a Voltron?
I thought it was a Gundam, if I recall. I might be wrong.
I don't know.
I recall it being a Gundam.
I was seeing red throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, so
I think it was an RX model Gundam. I'm not sure because I've only seen that film once. Not very good.
No. Yeah, it kind of. I think it's cool to use. I think it's a great gun to play with. I enjoy playing with it. I enjoy chopping fools up with it, and it just kind of pulls the full package together for me. So
I've not played Gears of War. I remember playing the first one when it first came out with a pal at his house. He had a 360, and all I can recall was how impressive this co-op was on his big CRT telly. You know, one of them big heavy ones that were weighed more than a house. And this is just really going back into my brain. Like, we were escaping a prison, I think.
Yep.
That's right at the beginning.
And
first level.
All right. Last level. And I got one of these, and I remember I couldn't. I feel like this might just be my head. You ran at them while you were doing it.
Yeah.
And I kept missing them because you were running in a straight line, and I didn't time it right. But then again, I might be just thinking wrong.
Just shit, mate.
Yeah, there is that. There is that. Yeah.
No, you don't do shooters.
The mechanics have obviously been perfected and bettered.
Of course, they will have.
Over, the series. So, but I always go back to it. I always feel like I think you can carry two guns in Gears, can't you? And always one of them for me always seems to be the Lancer.
I like the games where you can only carry two. That was Halo originally, wasn't it?
Yeah, still Halo now.
You only get two guns, and I love that. I don't like having like Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil 4 with his invisible briefcase full of rocket launchers and sniper rifles.
Lara Croft, she managed to hold everything in nothing.
On a hit.
Yeah. See, I have a honourable mention later for this. I'll just mention it quickly now instead. The Hydra gun in Halo Infinite. I've kept that as my secondary weapon throughout the whole campaign.
It's a great gun.
Because it's such a good gun, and it's great at long distance and short distance, and it destroys enemies. The Hydra.
Is it new to that game? Because I can't remember.
I think it is new. I've never played Halo 4 and 5, so to me it's new because it wasn't in 3.
Okay.
But you...
For me, and the Halos I play, I used to like the needler gun and the just the standard assault rifle.
Oh yeah, the battle rifle's decent. Well,
yeah,
the assault rifle, battle rifle's better, but you get the Hydra from the first boss. You pick it up when you kill him, and I've just run with it ever since. But yeah, but my least favourite weapon, I'm just going to say 2 words, and that is blue shell.
That's mine, you get.
Well, we can talk about it together if you'd like, because this thing is an absolute dog shit weapon in a Mario Kart. Everyone knows how much I love Mario Kart
and how competitive you are.
Why should I be punished in first position because some slow cunt at the back is terrible at the game, gets a blue shell and fires it on me, and doesn't benefit from it? If they were
it's a game for kids, mate.
That's no excuse.
Blue shell is bullshit.
If you benefit from the red shell or the green shell or something, fair dues, because you're right. You have to be right behind the person to benefit from that. The blue shell is just punishing people in first place for no reason whatsoever, and 9 times out of 10, it's right at the end of the.
You're in first.
Well, you have to be. It only hits per people in first position.
Is that all it does? I thought it was just.
No, it just targets anyone in first position.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I've been hit by it many times.
But you
can just never recover either because it's always on the last lap.
Yeah. Or at times you get hit right before you're about to finish, and then someone overtakes you, and it's like, well, whoever's fired that hasn't gained an advantage, hasn't got anything.
Because you only get that weapon when you're really at the back, anyway, don't you?
It's like,
yeah, you're right there. That's really that's not
terrible weapon. It is absolutely pointless. And
can you not turn it off?
Nope. It's the worst addition they ever made to Mario Kart.
Have you got defense against it?
Nope.
There is only one way I've ever been able to get away from it, and I think that
letting
was
someone overtake you.
Right, that is the tactic. You slow down.
Can you not do a banana?
No, you can.
Not on a blue one. You can with a red one, I think.
Yeah,
I think if you had a star, but you'd never have a star in first position anyway.
No, not a chance.
I think in Mario Kart 8 you can avoid it if you go into flight mode as it's going to hit you. You might get lucky and it might try to hit the ground as you're taking off over a jump. That's the only time you can do it.
Racing,
it does sometimes hit the wall.
Something that does something very similar.
Yeah, you can. There's no shield though, like in Mario, is there?
There are some. There's a horn you can use that'll stop them.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
And you can use. You can drag things behind you. So if someone fires a red or blue, green shot at you, and it hits that.
Yeah, if you got one behind you,
it hits the thing behind you, so it acts as a shield. But the blue shell is. There is no way, as far as I'm aware, there is no way of stopping it unless you're lucky. You just get lucky. So the tactic,
because you can't outrun it either, because you can't be that fast.
No, you can't.
No,
it will always hit
full
you.
Power slide in.
The only thing to do is to stop, slow down, and
let somebody take over.
No, because it still targets you. So if someone goes into first position, it's still you that it hits.
No way.
So you have to slow down in hope that the person behind you gets caught up in the blast as well, and then you can.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is why I've had to ban myself from playing Mario Kart with friends, because it fucking cheats. And if I lose for unfair reasons like that, I'm not going to get over it. Like, it's not fun.
Yeah,
it's not fun. That's why Crash Team Racing is the better game.
Crash Team Racing is that garbage. Get out of here. I played Crash Team again, Biggie. I don't think it's that good at all. I'm sorry. But yeah, I agree. It's an unfair cheat. It is pointless. Why does the person who's in 11th get to stop the person who's in front?
I do remember playing my daughter on 8 on the Switch, and she's not very good, obviously, and she just kept getting blue shell after blue shell after blue shell and I'm just because I know it's artificial, like rubber banding type thing, isn't it, to get the person last some. But
everyone has
as
a
you
chance.
said, I never thought of. There's no advantage to hitting the first player.
No,
it makes no sense. I never even thought of that.
It should
ruining friendships.
Yeah, realistically, it should hit maybe
whoever's in front of you.
No, not even that. Maybe like 2 or 3 positions in front of you at least, because then they get knocked. You can
gain some
advantage over it, but you don't by hitting the first player. The only people that gain advantage is if anyone's in second or third and they're close behind. Luckily, I'm so good at the game that I get hit and it's fine.
It's Miyamoto that creates it. I think it is, isn't it?
He created it. He doesn't work on it now.
Whoever directs it now, we need to email them and tell them to stop. Because no one's probably ever thought of that.
Crash Team Racing, when you fire the spark off, it takes all the cars out along the way.
Crash Team Racing. What are we talking about that for?
It's the better racer. But it takes out
but Biggie, they've had that in Mario Kart since the start. That does that. The shrinker. You're just describing the shrinker there.
No, it's the one that takes everybody out. So that's what I'm saying. That's
they had that in Mario Kart years ago,
mate.
Years ago. Just copying the best.
But what they did do is drop the blue shell because it's not fun to play. Whereas Crash Team Racing,
neither is Crash Team Racing,
a fun game to play.
Anyway, yeah, I made my point. I'm just going around in circles here, but it's an absolute bullshit weapon.
I agree with you, mate.
Completely agree.
Shite. I never thought of it how you thought of it. Where, he just gives you no advantage because you're usually at the back. That's mind-boggling. That's blown my mind. It's a wank weapon,
and you always know it's coming as well because there's an indicator above you, and you're like, for fuck's sake, like.
Oh, that's so sad.
Absolutely. Oh, bless you, Sticky.
Shit game.
Well, moving on to Candy then.
So mine is the Object of Power 1-KE, the service weapon from Control. Who here has played?
Love it.
Who here has played Control?
Loved it.
And the DLC.
I haven't.
Everything. I absolutely absorbed the whole thing.
It's on the list of many keep buying new ones instead.
It's one of the best games of last gen.
I would agree, but anyway, for the sake of you, Stig, I'm going to have to explain this weapon with as little context as possible, because Control's one of those games where it really kind of pays to go in blind. I went in completely blind, and I think it was the right way to go. So if some things I say don't make perfect sense, you just kind of go with it, because if I do explain it, it'll ruin it. And the reason I chose this weapon in particular is more the concept behind it. It's not like the coolest looking weapon, although it is pretty cool. So the service weapon, it's aka the director's gun. It's the main weapon you wield in Control. It's able to take on various forms, and it also ties you to this astral plane. And to be able to wield the weapon, the Board of Control must first deem you worthy. So as a test, the gun has to be held to your head, or the candidate's head. If the candidate doesn't meet the requirements, or it doesn't meet the board's approval, they're shot dead and killed. Or if you are deemed worthy of owning the object, you automatically become the new director of the Federal Bureau of Control.
Worst job interview ever.
Yes.
I don't know, I've had worse.
Although sometimes you kind of wish you had just... Anyway. Compared to some jobs. And there's a suggestion that those deemed worthy are generally people that are able to kind of harness its power for their own gain. People that are able to absorb and use the objects of power.
It's weird how it subverts the you're not the chosen one. You're the one that's got most ruthlessness.
Yeah, and
it's weird how that's how it's against that trope, isn't it? You're not Link with the Master Sword. You're a flawed person. Basically.
And you're just one of a few people they've got lined up, because throughout the career, the directors they're often tested, and they have to do the same kind of test of their worthiness as they go. So at any time they could kind of be taken out by the Russian roulette. So often you've got other candidates kind of lining up. But it's in its current form that you play with in Control. It's a shape-shifting firearm whilst it's in your possession. Yeah. It can assume a variety of different forms with different applications. It's also implied that it wasn't always a gun as well. It sort of took the form of whatever.
Yeah, the board mentioned it says pen, it says sword, gun.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of the general.
So the pen is mightier than the sword, unless it's a gun.
It's a play on the word, isn't it? Because the board are a thing altogether. It's they're an entity that doesn't really have the same grasp on English as we do. They see English as a circle rather than, do you know what I mean? A language that goes from.
It's so hard to explain how cool it is without.
It's a bit like Arrival.
Yeah, it's so hard to explain how cool it is without giving too much away. But essentially, it's kind of like perceived as an appropriate personal weapon given in any given historical era.
That's a good explanation.
So yeah, it could be like a sword before times of firearms, and it could be hinted that previous wielders may have influenced the service weapon to manifest as weapons from myths and folklore. So like Mjolnir or Excalibur.
Yeah. There's one of the logs you can read where it says during the Cold War, the service weapon was a pen, because that was, when it was signing documents, the most dangerous weapon.
That's so fucking cool.
Stuff like that.
That's what I mean. Clever. Just the idea behind it, rather than the actual weapon itself. Because Control is such a clever and original idea. Like I said, it's hard to explain, but just if you haven't played it, please do.
And when you say to people, the whole game is in one building.
But it's so pretty, but so bland as well, though, isn't it? It's so sort of sparse, but at the same time, like, you really get that sense of how big the building is.
Especially when you play the DLC as well. Whew.
I haven't actually yet, and I need to.
The Alan Wake DLC, I will blow your mind.
I would like my mind to be blown more with Control.
It's so good. Oh, I think it's better than the main game.
Yeah, I've heard other people say that, actually. And some of the side bosses as well, like the ones that you don't even have to do, are better than the main bosses that are in the game.
Absolutely.
But the power of the weapon itself, it's actually influenced by the user's psychic powers. They're known as para-utilitarians. That's right, isn't it?
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
So it's their concentration to manifest the power itself. So it's as versatile as the imagination of the one who wields it. So in Control, it can take on 6 different forms. So you've got Grip, which is a standard firearm, like your standard revolver.
Pistol.
Shatter, which is like the sort of shotgun version. Spin, which is a rapid fire form. Pierce charges a single shot capable. It like destroys buildings, basically. Charge is 3 powerful rounds to a single point, and then Surge fires sticky grenades, basically. So it's a gun from another dimension. You're able to take on new forms
close attention
at all will, with ammunition that recharges indefinitely. So it kind of fires a piece of itself, and you sort of, if you do look closely, you sort of almost see itself rebuild. When it fires itself out, and it's been wielded by heroes throughout history.
Did you? I don't know. I don't know if this is the DLC or the main game. There's a log that you pick up again where it says 665 people have wielded the service weapon.
I think that's
in the main game.
Yeah, that is. The main game.
And obviously the person that you play is in the main game is 666. It's the number of the beast.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
But yeah, so good. Please play Control.
I think it's exceptional, and Remedy's probably the best game, isn't it?
I'd say it's Remedy's best game, yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with the new Alan Wake. But it actually really creeped me out as well. I've spoken about it before, and it's not a horror game. But I was so surprised by
when you play it with headphones and the hiss and the whispering.
That's what got me. I wasn't expecting it at all. Woof.
There's that bit when near the beginning, and this one of them's whispering, and it's just whispering a shopping list.
Because they're kind of
apples.
It's not nonsense that they're whispering, but there's
words in there.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, but not in a way that you would put it together in a sentence necessarily.
Yeah, it's so fucking good.
And the way they're just like floating there as well, and just this hiss is coming out of them.
And they're just floating. Oh,
yeah, I need to go back to play
so
that.
Good.
I started it and I
play the DLC. It's so
to play it.
Fucking good.
So yeah, I need to go back.
Yeah, you do.
Also with the DLC, just a reminder, you don't need to complete the game to do it. It's just, do you know how halfway through the game you unlock the elevator that lets you go everywhere? Yeah. It's just a floor. It's just an extra floor. That's what the DLC is. And you go on that floor, and that's the story in there. It's so good.
Yeah. And I don't need to talk about my least favourite weapon because I already have.
What was it? The blue shell?
The blue bloody shell. Oh, hate it.
Cunt's weapon.
And then finally over to you.
It's a weapon of cunts.
Sir Gadget.
Okay, so for my favourite weapon, I'm just going to read you the lore description of it.
Uh-oh.
One of the trick weapons of the workshop, commonly used in the hunting business. This saw, effective at drawing the blood of beasts, transforms into a long cleaver that makes use of centrifugal force. The saw, with its set of blood-letting teeth, has become a symbol of the hunt, and only grows in effectiveness the more grotesquely transformed the beast. Yes, I'm talking about the saw cleaver from Bloodborne.
Stay back, foul beast!
It's all your fault! All that kind of thing. Yeah, the saw cleaver from Bloodborne, it's an iconic weapon. It's on the character art. It is, weirdly enough, for a From Software game, it's the weapon you get first, and it's probably the best weapon in the whole game.
Potentially the weapon you get first.
Well, yeah, you can choose the threaded cane if you want, but who does that unless you're a psychopath?
Hi.
Psychopath. The thing with Bloodborne's weapons, all Bloodborne's weapons are trick weapons. They all have two functions to them. So some of them are incredible. For instance, the Kirk hammer is this great big bloody stone hammer. But if you press the trick weapon button, he puts it on his back and pulls a sword out of the handle.
And it's a proper longsword.
It's a proper longsword as well, because the Kirk hammer's fucking enormous. But the sword cleaver, if you look at an image of it, it's a curved handle with a long thick blade wrapped up with kind of bandage and kind of grime and muck on it, and you hold it and he basically swipes it up in front of his face, and the blade is on the outer edge. But when you're in the middle of a fight, you can hit a 1-2 combo, then hit the trick button, and the blade flicks out long, and you can knock enemies back out the way of you. It's fucking phenomenal.
It's almost a spear at that point, isn't it?
It extends out to about 8 foot long, and it means you can really get some space around you when you're in the cramped streets of Yharnam and you've got Yharnamites all kind of like crowding in around you.
Oh,
and yeah, it's a weapon that I enjoy using most. Probably my favorite weapon in all of the FromSoft games.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's just so fucking satisfying. And also because like for the first half of the game, when you're fighting mostly beasts, it also builds up their insanity meter. So you can so the more you use it, the bigger combos you do, you gradually do more and more damage to each beast as you fight it. So especially when you're fighting stuff like the Cleric Beast, the Bloodstarved Beast, and Vicar Amelia, the little beasts. Especially those 3 bosses, you are exponentially doing more damage the longer you can keep a combo going.
Yeah,
and that's what makes this weapon so good, because not all the weapons in the game do this.
No,
it's a fucking.
I don't think the Great Axe does it? The
no, the Hunter's Axe doesn't.
No, but
that one's a boring transformation. It just gets longer.
Yeah, that's the one I used when I first played it because it's got good crowd control. And then I played it again, and I've always had the threaded cane because I just think it's pimp.
I mean, it is.
You can have a top hat, a long trench coat, and a threaded cane. But my favourite weapon in that game is the whirligig.
I mean, the whirligig's always good, but I've never managed to get used to it.
Yeah,
it's a massive pizza slicer.
It's so good.
But also, you get it in the DLC, which is the hardest part of the game. I mean, that DLC is psychotic.
No, you can do crazy death runs to pick it up and then die, and then play it in the main game.
Oh, I know that.
That's what I do.
But yeah, the Sword Cleaver is just it's a weapon that I just enjoy using. Like every time I play Bloodborne, I just go for the same build. It's a strength build using the Sword Cleaver, and I just like to fuck shit up with it.
It is the best build, strength by far.
Yes,
that's pretty much how I'll play Elden Ring.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pick a strong character that I can fuck shit up with because I don't want it to be too tricky or difficult.
I mean, most of the Souls games, like there tends to be a starting class which is either quite strong, like a 2-handed weapon that you can fuck shit up with,
use the pyromancer,
or a strong magic user. There tends to be those classes there which are the easy mode, or at least the mode with the least resistance at the early game.
You saw the class that I chose for our D&D podcast.
Are you making Stigveld?
Yeah, pretty much gives you an idea of where I'm going.
Axes are good in Souls games, though, so you'll be fine.
Yeah.
They're slow.
I mean, my second favourite weapon in all the Souls games is the Zweihander in Dark Souls 1.
Oh, that's such a good weapon.
It's an amazing weapon, and it requires like 24 strength to use or something like that.
I like how it says in...
You have actually picked it up. Yeah. You picked it up. It's in the bit of the graveyard next to Firelink Shrine when you're on the way down to the catacombs. I
like how it states, though, it's not a particularly sharp sword, but its blunt damage it's like a truck.
It is an 8-foot long sword that you have to 2-hand to use.
I think you can stab with it, can't you? On the double-handed R2, I think you can thrust on one of the games at least.
I don't think it's in the first Dark Souls, but either, the one in the first Dark Souls, I love doing builds with that one because it is just so obscene. And
it's ridiculous, that sword.
If you can beat some of the faster bosses with, like, my crowning achievement to the point where I just stopped the playthrough because I knew I wouldn't do any better, was beating Manus with his Zweihander.
Really?
Yeah,
and
he's a fast boss.
That's a disadvantage. Mate. Yeah.
But
I did it with a Taurus greatsword, but that's cheating.
Yeah, that is cheating. Taurus greatsword's design is great, but I just don't like using it.
It's cheating, that's why.
There you go, Biggie. Take note of that.
I want
Biggie should have got the Drake sword. You should have got the Drake sword early on. It's too late now. You gone too far.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, mate.
Well, I tried to warn you, Nate. You didn't listen.
So my least favourite weapon, I'm going to think a little bit outside the box with this one.
Yeah.
Because it's not a video game. It's from a film.
Uh-oh.
My weapon that I hate the most, from Star Wars The Force Awakens, Starkiller Base.
Such a shit name as well.
That's not a planet, that's a space station.
No, it's not a space station, it's a fucking planet.
Yeah, I know.
It is the fucking worst idea. I really like The Force Awakens. I know it's just a retelling of A New Hope.
It's a fun little film, isn't it?
But it's a fun little film. Nice special effects, some cool sequences. Love the sequence on the salvage barge thing where Han and Chewie are having a run from the monsters that are being released.
I like that one.
Great,
I like that
great fun. But Starkiller Base. I've been reading up on Wikipedia about.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it's called.
Oh, that is incredible.
Starkiller Base, also called the Starkiller, was a base located on the forested ice planet of Ilum, rich in kyber crystals, that was located in the unknown regions. That's what the lore is that they put down. It's just a place in the unknown regions.
The unknown regions.
What's that mean?
Regions. It means it's unknown.
It's unknown, mate.
But like,
Vinny?
If it's unknown, then how do they find it?
Exactly.
It's in a region.
The First Order, a regime that believed themselves to be the successors to the ideals of the Galactic Empire, converted the planet into a base of operations owing to its unique energy-transmitting crystalline deposits, and used it to house a superweapon capable of destroying entire star systems. The superweapon consumes suns as a power source. Its mobility was provided by rocket ports on the far side of it. This is a planet that can fly between solar systems, sucks up a star, and casts magic fire across the fucking galaxy.
I hate that it sucks up stars. I hate that.
It's
like,
so
the repercussions are they're like, oh my god, it can rip through 4 planets. I'm like, it's just sucked up a star. That means that complete system's gone.
Well, that's the whole point. It's trying to defeat the system. But the thing is, I made reference to this in our Discord, didn't I? That
yeah, this is what I was going to
bring. They watch the base kill various planets in real time. I'm like, that's not how space or light works.
While the slow-moving energy moves halfway across the galaxy, and Leia's stood at the base watching it destroy planets that have several hundred
weeks, wouldn't it?
Several hundred light years away from her.
It could take years. That's why it's called like a light year. Like these are, you literally might not be able to see that for thousands, hundreds of thousands, in millions of years. You might not see that.
Yeah.
But Star Wars logic.
Exactly.
Everything is so close together.
But how many parsecs did it take to do the Kessel Run? You know what I
mean? Dude, it's got a laser that comes out of a handle that stops.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing is, because this fucking new Star Wars saga lore pisses me off in general anyway. So I looked into it. The unknown regions, also referred to as unknown space, the unknown territories, the unknowns, and the outer reaches, was a region of the galaxy located in the galactic west beyond the outer rim. For start, galaxies don't have north, south, east, west.
I'm going to say they're 4-dimensional.
Largely unexplored throughout galactic history, it remained a mystery to space travelers and served as a source of tales and wonders. Yet somehow the fucking First Order arrived there.
Right, okay.
How can they be unknown when they know
Why
about
has no one
it?
ever thought, oh, let's go, chart those stars over there? No one's ever done it. We can't go there. Why?
It's Uncharted.
We're not allowed. See, we get hit a visible barrier. They're all flying ships that can fly at warp speed and whatever, like at light speed.
Yeah,
FTL.
There is no area that's unknown, really.
Yeah, the space is ever expanding.
You would call an unknowns region anywhere. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They'll get like a Sky News update where it says unknown regions breaking news is now.
It wouldn't be called Sky News. It'd be called Star News.
So the thing is, for Starkiller Base, it is a fucking hollowed out planet with a massive trench down the middle, designed to look like a bigger version of the Death Star. But the way it sucks up energy from a local star to fire its massive weapon, it pulls in energy from the star into like an exhaust port thing on the back of the planet. There's this huge tube running through the entire core of it, which amplifies the power. and then it fires it out the firing chamber, right? Yeah. It's a hollowed out planet. That would just collapse in on itself.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Wouldn't the description of a sun create a black hole? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's still got flora and fauna on that planet somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Somehow
it's still an atmosphere, even though they've hollowed it out.
Exactly.
Where the fuck is its molten core?
Exactly. It wouldn't have any gravity because it's not spinning. It doesn't have the mass to support that because you've hollowed out the fucking planet.
So
I hate it. I hate it.
Just for the listeners and for yourself as well, I just had a quick look at how many megatons of energy our sun holds. So it says it produces a poem-worthy sunsets and as much energy as 1 trillion megaton bombs every second. So that's too much. That planet would have to be able to hold over a trillion megatons worth of energy.
It's stupid.
It doesn't make any sense. Right, it makes zero sense.
Star Wars is crap. We all need to understand this. Star Wars is bad.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Star Wars.
Not all Star Wars is bad, but there is some stuff that you can take with a pinch of salt or suspend your disbelief for. But I remember seeing this and thinking, this is just the stupidest thing in the world.
I thought the Death Star was stupid.
They tried to retcon the lore and all that to say the reason for the massive trench down the middle of this planet, which got turned into a super weapon, was because the Empire mined the shit out of this planet to build Star Destroyers. I'm like, no, fuck off. Fuck the fuck off.
Yeah. Death Star's not stupid doodles. Shut up.
Death Star is stupid.
That's cool.
As a slight honourable mention before we get to the Patreon bit, I will also say there is one particular lightsaber that I think is the worst weapon ever, and that's Cal Kestis's one from Jedi Fallen Order, because how the fuck do stormtroopers parry a lightsaber?
They do, though. They do.
There's a material that can parry a lightsaber, so
it's called
the
unknown material.
Mandalorians wear it.
Iridium or something like that. Yeah. It's a thing.
It's a thing now, is it?
Well, it's a thing now.
I haven't seen the Mandalorian, so fair enough.
I've seen them. They've got a lot of them wear gauntlets that can
I just thought it was incredibly stupid when I played. No,
there is material. I don't know. That was in material that can.
That was in Knights of the Old Republic as well. You could
fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I
thought you were just going to say Kylo Ren's because that's very impractical.
Yeah.
He cut his own wrist off.
Yeah. Why have laser hilts? There's no need in it.
It looks cool though.
I think that's the problem with Star Wars. It all looks cool as fuck, but there's no practicality. This is why I like Star Trek better. I just think it's more. It's just it's not as fun, but Starkiller Base.
But anyway, Starkiller Base is just.
I wonder if there's anyone listening to this that actually thinks it's cool, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's so cool! I love it."
I get the feeling someone did some concept art of it, and that's where J.J. Abrams went, yes, we'll do this. You know,
I forgot it was J.J. Abrams.
It's a J.J. Abrams.
Remember the Death Star? Yeah, that, but bigger.
More
much bigger.
Has it got a trench with a weak spot that you can fire a torpedo into to destroy it? Yes.
I always just thought
bigger.
The coolest. People are not, obviously, Stig likes the Death Star, but I think the coolest Empire is the Super Star Destroyer. That's so fucking cool.
Oh, Super Star Destroyer was epic. Love that.
So fucking cool. How big it was compared to normal Star Destroyers. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, but the Death Star was like, it's a planet ender and stuff, but it made more sense.
Space station.
It made more sense because it just charged up its energy to the planet.
Yeah, I did like that about
the
it.
Energy from a sun.
Yeah, there's no magic, was it? It was just pure energy. Yeah, I did like that about it. And it could blow one planet up at a time, and it couldn't do it constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it made more sense. And I like the interior decor of the Death Star. It's cool.
Very industrial goth, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. And they, ooh, when the alarm goes off. I love the alarm on Star Wars.
A little mouse bot just sitting around.
Yeah.
Well, what do they do, like those things?
Clean.
Well, they're basically
maybe they're like,
were they?
No, I thought they were like the past messages on like little postmen.
I don't know what half the droids do. Like they're just wandering around that.
Does.
Like,
and they've all got anxiety as well, don't they? The droids.
That droid that just walks around and goes bonk.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Don't say anything against Bonk. Bonk's amazing.
It is kind of funny, isn't it, for a civilization that's so advanced in technology and everything else. All the droids really aren't that fast. They never let them get too clever, did they? They just thought, you are clever, but you're still on like little roller
Yeah, but then
casters.
there's droids that exist like General fucking Grievous. It's like, why can't they all be like him?
Well, he's an anomaly, isn't he? So they...
Or them droideckers from episode 1. Why can't they all be like that? Why can't you get a protocol droid that's like that?
You get R2-D2, who's actually quite intelligent, but speaks like he's having a brain fart.
Yeah, like why?
Or you get C-3PO was just trying to do his best and get mugged off at every available opportunity.
Oh my! Oh my! Oh my!
I fear we've strayed into our best or worst robots episode here.
Yeah, I think we'll end it there, guys. Take it away, Oodles.
I was going to let you do the honours. I'll do it. Let's open that big Star Destroying sized fucking sack of filth that you've got there, Gadget.
Luge it all over us.
There's a lot of it. People have gotten into this one, so we're going to rattle through these quickly. Super Natty Cat has said, favourite weapon, the Leviathan Axe.
Ooh.
Currently playing through God of War, aiming for the platinum before Ragnarok arrives, and it's just a beautiful weapon. The enchantment stones you can use, you can actually see when they are placed inside the handle.
Always love
There's
that.
full-blown story that is slowly revealed by Brock and Sindri, and I now associate the axe with the Kratos character more than the Chaos Blades.
Yeah.
Um,
Can I just say one thing about the Leviathan axe that I forgot to mention? And
Yeah.
it's one thing I've mentioned on this podcast before. You can actually see where it clips onto his back.
you can,
It's
yeah.
got a little hook.
Yeah.
And I hate it when games, Skyrim, they just put a sword on the back and it's magically just stuck to the back. I hate
Magnets.
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you could say that, couldn't you? But yeah.
She goes on to say finishing moves are bussin', and there's nothing more satisfying than ramming your axe straight through the sphenoid bone of a massive ogre-looking motherfucker. My stream isn't called Leviathan Axe and Chill for no reason. This thing hits like therapy.
That's that word
least
again,
favourite-
bussin'. What's that mean?
Bussin'.
Means something good.
it's young
Someone
people.
explain what bussy. I know what a bussy is. Boy pussy.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
That's what it is. So bussing's probably something to do with boy pussy.
No, it doesn't. It just means like it's like the chef
Young
kiss.
people.
Like, it's great kind of thing.
Oh, and
Jesus
just
Christ, Doodles.
a note.
That's what it
A
means.
note to Super Natty Cat as well. Can you please send it in an email, not in 6 threads on Twitter?
She does it on purpose. She even said the
Right.
Discord.
Yeah, she's carried on saying least favourite weapon took some thinking. I'm going to go with the sheep or super sheep from Worms Armageddon.
Yeah, fuck
I'm a huge fan of it, actually, but for the reason is my least favourite is because I can't fucking use it. If anyone else uses it on me, I'm dead immediately, but if I use it, no chance. First, I realised the super sheep directions are backwards, so I either just hit myself or it flies straight into the ground. If it's the normal sheep, it just plops in the water or gets stuck on a jagged rock, but for some reason I can't leave the thing alone. Call me a sheepshacker Welsh lass all you want, but when given the option of either simple karate punch a guy into the water or take a few steps back and aggressively use a super sheep at the expense of myself, I pick the sheep every time. Hate it.
It's all about that holy hand grenade on Worms, isn't it?
I was never good with the sheep. It's exactly the
No,
same.
I weren't.
You let it go, and then it start bouncing back to you, and you'd be like, "No, fuck off!" And then the timer or whatever had run out, and you just get hurt, and you're like, "What a waste of a go!"
I always remember wasting time with it. Like, I'm going to get a good position with the rocket pack or the grappling hook. I'm like, fuck! I've got 2 seconds left. And it's just, fuck it, banana. Woof.
I think the next time we have a meetup, we need to make sure there's a copy of Worms on the go.
Oh yeah.
I think I've got every game of Worms exists. I really like Worms, and that Worms Rumble that they did recently is really good.
Pretty sure I got a copy free on Epic or Amazon.
It's really fun, but
I bought a Worms
it's not
NFT,
Worms
actually.
Oh, I bet you have. It's not the Worms that you remember. It's obviously a really fast-paced multiplayer one. Really good.
Moving on, Terrestrial Extra said, whereas there may be more powerful Infinity Gauntlet, a more useful portal gun, a more destructive BFG, my favourite has to be a lightsaber, an elegant weapon for a more civilised age. I wanted to make sure the Shaker Slate got a mention too, versatile, powerful, and pocket-sized, but that's not a weapon.
Sheikah
That's a
Slate, it
gadget.
is. You can still weaponize it.
What is it?
Yeah, I don't think that one counts.
Magnetize. It's got. Did you ask what it was, Stig?
Yeah, what's it?
It's from Zelda.
Because the tablet and Breath of the Wild.
I've played 2 Zelda games. We'll get onto Breath of the Wild
Yeah, I
later.
don't know that one.
Oof.
Tune into Patreon for that.
Oh dear.
Terrestrial Extra also says least favourite has got to be the pistol you start off with in any FPS.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Halo Combat Evolved, that pistol takes you right to the end of that game.
That's a good pistol, yeah. That is a very good pistol. I like the pistol on Doom 2016 as well.
I've got that in my least favourite starter pistols in all games.
A lot of them are
starter pistols,
boring.
Useless.
There is only one set of starter pistols I like. Tune into the Patreon to hear that.
Tune in.
Kilby Wild has said, favourite, the noisy cricket from Men in Black, the battle rifle from Halo, Trinity Ghoul from Diablo 2.
Yeah,
that's Diablo 2 or Destiny 2? There's just a D2. I'm assuming it's Diablo
Destiny 2.
Destiny 2, probably.
Destiny 2, yeah. Any weapon I imbue with fire damage enchantment in Skyrim or Oblivion, any weapon I imbue with the fire damage enchantment in Skyrim or Oblivion and call the Burninator. Heavy weapons with splash damage and plasma guns. Least favourite, anything that takes a long time to charge up, and the Death Star.
See? Not everyone loves the Death Star.
Death Stars, I like the Death Star. It's a good concept.
Silly.
Lee Davies has said my favourite weapon is Ash's chainsaw arm in Evil Dead 2 and 3. So iconic and groovy.
Yeah.
Least favourite weapon is the blue shell from Mario Kart. I'm sure this will have already be mentioned.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Mentioned hard.
I do like Ash's boomstick as well.
Yes.
Yeah, the boomstick's good.
But then he has gone on to say, can I change my answer for least favourite weapon to the power of Christ from the Exorcist?
From the Exodus. The Exorcist.
Seems like a good idea. It didn't really do anything.
Holy water, it's not a good weapon.
It compelled Pazuzu from Regan's body. It worked. Exorcist law.
No, we're not getting on Exorcist law. We don't have time. Adam Golightly says, good evening, you lovable lot. I think he's writing to somebody else. My least favourite weapon, that's if you can class this as a weapon, is Magikarp. Jump back to Pokemon Red on Game Boy.
Not very effective.
Jump back onto Pokemon Red on Game Boy, desperately wanting a Gyarados. Gyarados?
Gyarados. Oh
Gyarados.
God. Have you never played Pokemon?
I've played it. I've never spoke it.
Oh,
I've never played it.
But having to level the absolute shit fish to level 20 to evolve it. Now my favourite. I can't pick between two, so I'm throwing both in. Stig, sorry. Says, so, Blue Shell, Mario Kart.
I know this because he sent this to me and I was just like, what the fuck?
Fond memories of playing with my old man on the SNES, then N64 with him in the lead, only for me to get a hold of a Blue Shell. Insert very smug Adam.
So you would just
You're
shit
the problem.
Also,
it's good for people that aren't good at the games. Clearly, that's what that means, Adam.
No, it's good for people who aren't. It's good for people who aren't good people.
Yeah.
Then also the chain gun in Wolfenstein 3D. I remember the feeling of fuck yeah when I first picked it, buzzing my tits off when kicking Hitler's arse with it. Now, granted, I could probably pick up some better or worse weapons from more recent times, but nostalgia always wins it for me.
Yeah, he doesn't have a long wind up like a lot of Gatling guns, does it?
Yeah.
Chain guns. So good.
John Cheatham has said, easy one for me, the Saw Cleaver in Bloodborne. To begin with, it looks like some repurposed medical implement, surgical but murderous. Also, the experience of using it in-game, the impact of tearing into Yharnam's snarling beast, the scraping and grinding as it transforms into a longer-reaching form to keep the nightmares at bay for a while. This weapon is Bloodborne. No wonder they put it on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
You two really like that weapon, don't you?
I think me and John might be the same person.
Because you do get that one that's very similar quite a bit into it, don't you? That's a bit
the Saw Spear.
Yeah, I always like that more.
I just prefer the moveset.
It's fast, isn't it? It's fast.
Yeah. So Debbie Punk has written back in after a little while, and he's sent us another essay. So we're going to work through this one. I have no idea how to pronounce the opening, so let's just go with whatever comes out of me gob.
Okay.
Dearest monosaccharide estoppage.
I like
That's
it.
right.
Nailed it.
Yeah. I have enjoyed many a weapon in my time, some of them in-game. The first to pop into my head was Doom Shotgun. Why is a shotgun so special? Only an arsehole that hasn't run point-blank range into a demon, eliminating the need to even aim and eviscerating them into a cloud of pink defeat would ask such a question. Add a bonus of Doom's OST starting to play every time you pick it up and start running down the street. Next is Vice's Cutlass in Skies of Arcadia, which seems like a hybrid blend of sword, tonfa, truncheon, and moonstone. It looks the business, you can change the elemental damage, so it would be really handy if you get attacked by Pokemon and hang on. So it would be really handy if you get attacked by Pokemon and need to change your attack type to slaughter the little fuckwits. These are the stylish choice for your discerning steampunk enthusiasts. I just want that Switch port.
I've never played it still.
Now, I know lightsabers will be mentioned a lot for this topic. I must make it very, 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 very clear that I think lightsabers are awesome. The sight, the sounds, the inconsistent ability they seem to have depending on what the story requires. Maybe that's the issue I have with Cal Kestis' lightsaber. But devoting your life to being a hermit space virgin in a brown dressing gown is far too much of an ass to be able to get one. Only Jedi and Sith can wield them, and if you think, I'll go and become a Sith because surely they must be drowning in the genital fluids of their choice, think again. Once you become a Sith, something has to happen to your face. You might get lucky and end up being a Darth Maul paint by the numbers theme. However, the far more likely option is you end up looking like Gary Busey's unmoisturized
He's not wrong.
Now, there is another option. You can just buy a beam katana from eBay and skip nearly 20 years of Jedi trading, exactly like our boy Travis Touchdown does in No More Heroes. Your cheapest option is the Bloodberry model, and don't worry, these can be upgraded or you can kill people and take their money to purchase even better beam katanas. It does have the slight downside of running out of battery and requiring a recharge during fights. How do you recharge your beam katana, you ask? You violently masturbate until it lets out a happy beep. Like Biggie. Beam katanas are fast, violent, and don't come attached with any confusing retconned lore which depends on what Disney dictates. I should wrap this up, but as we're on another Suda51 game, he had one called Shadows of the Damned, which you wielded Boner. Which was a talking skull revolver which could be upgraded to Hot Boner and Big Boner.
Yeah. Great game.
That now.
I'm also fond of using a big stick as a weapon.
So,
and then he finishes off with No More Heroes 1 and 3 on Switch. Get it fucking played. Deadbeat Punk, 12th most popular podcaster on Good Pods.
Officially.
So, me and Punk recorded a podcast together on Fuck My Work Life last night. I don't know when that's coming out, but there is a story about him and a weapon. That's all I'm going to say.
Is it?
I need to hear this.
Yep. And it's fucking great.
The other half of our Irish audience has appeared, DJ Walsh. Dear escaped convicts of modern society, I finally something to contribute that I feel might make me worthy of becoming a trickle of seminal fluid in your bulging sack. Fuck's sake.
Oh my god.
How do they make me read these things?
You are the keeper of the sack. You need to massage the sack.
He says, I revisited Battlestar Galactica this week, the 2003 and 2007 version. I was late to it, only watching it thanks to an ex-girlfriend circa 2013, and I've meant to revisit it. I found some time this week after feeding my farm animals, the likes of which would give Oodles nightmares. Lovely, affectionate cows. I got home late and my wife had already gone to bed, so I decided, having finished Succession earlier this week, to find something new. I was trawling through various streaming services for something decent to watch to no avail, until Battlestar Galactica showed up on Peacock.
Yes.
After watching part 1 of the 2003 two-part Breeze series release, it dawned on me how underrated not only the Galactica is, but more specifically the ingenuity of the old Viper fighter jets as weapons against a formidable enemy, especially the Mark II iteration of the Viper. What better weapon against a network-infiltrating shower of Cylon bastards than an old-school Thunder bastard fighter jet that's intentionally low-tech? Want to spam my fighter jet with dodgy porn and pyramid schemes to try and distract me from the battle? Try again, you roaming red-eyed cunts. Are DJ and Punk the same people?
They're from the same ilk, I believe.
Yeah. Anyways, Battlestar Galactica is a great show, even if the acting, plot, and cinematography dated quite quickly. I've only watched part 1 and I can't wait to get stuck back into the 4 series and the nail-biting wonder of who the fuck are the final 4. And can I give an honourable mention to the Blade and Fruit Ninja?
Which is your finger?
He says, love the show, folks. Not a bad listen for a bunch of toasters. Is he insulting us there?
Toasters?
Yeah.
I've been called worse.
Yeah, I have.
Does he mean
Fruit Ninja.
Maybe you think
Fruit Ninja, the blade
tossers in it, or corrected.
Yeah, probably autocorrected from tossers.
I prefer toasters.
Maybe I like toasters.
I like toast.
Sergeant Story said, my least favourite weapon is the gold crossgun from Constantine. The weapon itself is fine, but it's my least favourite because of the effect on the viewer. When I watched Constantine assembling it, it totally took me out of the movie and ruined my sense of disbelief. Pretty much wrecked the rest of that film for me.
I like your pronunciation of Constantine as well. I like that. Constantine. Is that the Newcastle version?
Constantine. I don't know the difference. Which one is it supposed to be?
Constantine. Oh mine.
That's what the Joker was getting at. John Constantine.
Fucking hell. The abuse I put up with on this for the amount of work I put in.
He's
Jesus
very picky
Christ.
tonight, as Ariels. He's very factually checking.
Yeah. Ray said, my favourite weapon is a steel crowbar. He gets out every now and again, doesn't he?
It's a good weapon.
However, it's not the one wielded by that unlucky physicist on his disastrous first day at work, but the others in the hand of a bald assassin.
Hello, Gordon.
Despite looking incredibly suspicious in the hand of a man in a black suit with a barcode on his skull, no one will pay attention to Agent 47 holding a crowbar in an extravagant fashion show. Thanks to crowbars being considered a tool, not a weapon by the game's program, it doesn't trigger alarms like firearms or blades, no matter how out of place they look. On the other hand, these metal bars can be used for melee combat, throwing with laser accuracy to knock out or distract guards, force open locked doors, and to save the trouble of searching for keys or lockpicks, a feature not shared by other tools like the hammer and wrenches. To top everything off, crowbars are environmentally friendly and stylish, meaning they can be retrieved and reused, unlike throwables such as bricks and a soda can, and can be hidden under 47's tailored suit without ruining the outline. Crowbars was such a hit that Hitman even added an unlockable titanium version with DLC, a treatment well deserved for these humble-looking metal pieces. As for my least favourite video game weapon, I picked the AWP from Counter-Strike. I got bullied by it since I was a child, still hold grudges, 0 out of 10. Oh, bless
I've always just pronounced it AWP.
That's the AWP.
Anyway, it's a fucking bastard of a gun, but I've used it before, just because sometimes you just think, fuck it, I'm going to kill some people with one shot.
Yeah. And last up, Angry Kurt, best boy, says, hi, ME crew. For me, the most important factor in any weapon is how good it feels to use, and for me, the best in that regard is the shotgun from Doom 2016 and Eternal.
I thought as you used a shotgun in real life.
Even the standard version of it feels great to kill demons with as they burst into 1,000 bloody pieces, but then when you add mods to it, which basically make it feel almost like a Gatling gun, it becomes incredible. Eternal even gives a hook shot, for goodness sakes. Worst weapon for me is the Covenant weapon from Halo called the Type 25 Directed Energy Pistol. It just feels so weak with enemies requiring loads of rounds to kill, and it sounds weak too. Is that the one you actually just charge up and then you can like one-shot elites with it?
Hang on, type what?
I thought it was like a little
Type 25
type
Directed
thing.
Energy Pistol.
Yeah, I don't recognise that one.
I'm pretty sure it's the little green bastard.
The little green bastard.
It's the
It's the one the grunts carry.
It's just the pistol, the grunt's pistol. It's shit. I don't like it.
There's been a lot of mention in the mailbag of the shotgun from Doom, but not many mentions of the super shotgun.
The super shotgun is the preferred shotgun.
Yeah,
it's way better.
Doom 2 super shotgun.
Yeah. When I first picked up that super shotgun, and the little Doom guy had a little
his
grin.
face. Even he knows when he picks it up.
He knows. I think that's one of my all-time favourite weapons. Is a super shotgun.
Oh, the all-time great.
Yeah, excellent. Is that the mailbag then? Are we
That's
all
the mailbag done?
spent? Excellent. So we've got some socials and find out what's going to be happening next week.
Oh, exciting. You can visit our website, modernescapism.co.uk. On there, you can find a link to all of our socials, contact details, and our merch store. If you have any comments or feedback, you can fill out a form on our website, tweet us, or email us on modernescapismpod@gmail.com. We've also got a Discord server that you can come and hang out with us and argue further, if you'd like. We've got Twitch. Best place to find out about our schedule is probably Twitter, and you can find us on twitch.tv/modernescapism, or just give us a follow and subscribe, and then you'll see when we're going online. We've spoken about our Patreon, so if you're feeling generous and want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider subscribing on patreon.com/modernescapism. We really do appreciate all your contributions, and if you want to support us in a non-financial way, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you can. Next week, I'm going to be doing a topic next week. I've been looking forward to this one for ages.
It's a candy episode.
So we're going to do favourite vehicles, and it's going to be a bit of a fun one. And I need to explain to you all how we're going to do it.
You've got caveats, haven't you?
Yeah. We're going to do it off air. I'll explain later. But it's going to be fun. I promise.
The best rules. The best fun is fun with rules, isn't it?
Well, I waited till everyone chose a vehicle, and then I made sure to completely fuck over everyone's ideas. So.
Yeah, because
thanks for that.
I was going to come out with Metal Gear Rex.
I was going to go with the ornithopters in Dune.
I'm now coming in with a Fiat 500.
Yeah, I've got Nissan Sunny. But yeah, excellent. It's going to be a great time. It always is a great time here. And yeah, for everyone that's not a patron, this is the end for you. But for the patrons, we'll meet you around the back. So all I can say is good night.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
I couldn't find my hands. There it is.
Now they can see us. We can wave.
That's why I'm waving.
Bye. He's waving.
I've been waving every pod, but now I can actually do it for a reason.